drama. I whoop that ass like Michael Obama. Yeah, I got that big D energy. Ain't nobody wanna step to me. And if you really wanna bring that drama, I whoop that ass like Michael Obama.
No, Michelle is a
I'm sorry, she's a what?
transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
I whip that beat out like Michael Obama.
We already have it with
I got that
Obama.
big
So
energy.
let's just calm down.
Nobody wanna step to me. And if you really wanna bring that drama, I whip that ass like Michael Obama. I'm a girl, 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 I'm a whip the thing out like Michael Obama. I got that big energy. Ain't nobody wanna step at me. And if you really wanna bring that drama, I whip that ass like Michael Obama. Ain't got that clip, bitch. Hung like a llama. I whip that dick out like Michael Obama.
Conspiracy about Stanley Kubrick, moon landings, and the CIA? Go visit NASAcomic.com.
Ssgg.com, CIA's biggest con. Stanley Kubrick put us on, that's why we're singing this song. I'm Ssgg.com, go visit NASAcomic.com. Go visit NASAcomic.com. Yeah, go visit NASAcomic.com. Oh, Ssgg.com, CIA's biggest con. Stanley Kubrick put us on, that's why we're singing this song. I'm Ssgg.com, go visit NASAcomic.com. Go visit NASAcomic.com. Yeah, go visit NASAcomic.com.
Never a Straight Answer is a 40-page comic about Stanley Kubrick directing the Apollo space missions.
Yeah, go visit NASAcomic.com.
Deep they lurk, like twisted water dogs. In shadows they smirk, down in the rivers, out in the seas. Masters of the deep, dolphin mysteries. Bottlenose freaks, short beaks in the night. Humpback shadows, pygmies out of sight. All the dolphins, you know it's true. Rolling deep in the ocean blue. Stripes and spots, they rule the tide. Water dogs of the deep, they don't hide. In the river's grip, seas endless bounty. Ruling the waves, dolphin Illuminati. Praised by Romans, gods to the Greeks. Underwater rulers, the power peaks. In ocean depths, their counts to 6. Dolphins in the dark, never calling it quits. Striped and spotted in the sea's domain. Aquatic dogs in their own insane lane. Through rivers they ride, seas they roam. In the ocean depths, they make their home.
Well, I talk about insanity, which is what's going on in your mind, and outside, which is where you communicate with those outside. As you know, if you give too much of your insanity, they'll lock you up. I tried giving as much as I could. They locked me up. They published it, paid me.
Dolphin, Illuminati. Deep, deep, deep in the deep they creep. It's that dolphin, Illuminati. In the rivers and the seas they be a constant mystery. It's that dolphin, Illuminati. It's that dolphin, Illuminati. Deep, deep, deep in the deep they creep. It's that dolphin, Illuminati. In the rivers and the seas they be a constant a mystery, it's a dolphin. Illuminati, it's a dolphin. Illuminati.
That's you and Jules. That's Layla. It's Abs. Miss Abby with her #1 trophy. Platinum. It's not silver, it's platinum, baby. Look at Paranoid American. The glasses are perfect. And that's his, I know it's not Slimer, but you know. Oh, you weren't supposed to see that yet. Oh, yay. There's Gordy, his binoculars and his cowboy hat. And I found the purple dolphin, so I had to do donut.
Britney Spears, can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
What we used to think we knew is constantly explore the view. Our possibilities come true, so what we do is call out to the good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, mega mistakes, entertaining, calming linguists. Good guys. Forum of decorum needs a secretive society to advance on philosophies intentionally, magically. Good guys, good guys, good guys, good guys. Witches, weirdos, mischief making. It's okay to change your thinking. Good guys. Good guys, good guys.
Big up yourselves. Happy
Big up,
Sunday.
big up.
And welcome back to another episode of the Secret Society of Good Guys. Ladies' night, ladies drink free. Brr, 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 brr.
Hey.
So this is
Awesome.
what
No
we do
cover.
on Sundays. Just so you guys know, if you're looking for deep cuts or mind-blowing stuff, they may happen here, but more likely here, it might be heart-blowing stuff, or you might learn how to just deal with somebody you love a little better. We get conspiratorial here, but it's not always. We don't want somebody to be disappointed that when they show up here this evening, it isn't InfoWars and the frogs are gay every second, even though we might talk about that.
We might talk
So,
about it.
Yeah.
if you are joining us on our tiny little channel on Rumble, thank you for finding us in the land of the free and the home of the brave. If you are surviving us in communism and making it through the swamp of YouTube, we appreciate you as well. But we do encourage you to like and subscribe and find another channel, even if it's of any one of the people you see here right now, because there is a good chance that tonight could be the night we just can't take it anymore. And any one of us on this stage is just as capable at saying the thing. And it's out of passion and anger and being sometimes just because tables need to be flipped and we're not here for the
Or maybe it just sounds better in my
Amen.
head than it comes out in words.
So anyways, we love you guys so much. If you are somebody that you're just chilling and you want to hang out with other very rad people, right now we do think a majority of the chat rooms on the Project Chaney channel, so you can fly over there, but do make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell everywhere else. So hi ladies, that was a big mouthful I just had.
Hello. I know you do
What's
really
going
well.
on?
And
How was your day?
real quick too, because
Yeah.
people are asking, Abby, this thing that she's doing on Transurfing, it is on Bootsy Greenwood's channel. That is called
you.
Blue Collar Mystics. It is not on Abby's channel. It's a project she did with Owen, and it is on Blue Collar Mystics. So anyone that can't find it, it isn't on Abby's channel. So the people that are like, I feel like I found Abby's channel and I can't find this thing, you aren't alone. It's because Abby never remembers Blue Collar Mystics on time, and then we laugh
I know,
about it.
why can't I? That's so weird. Like, I have
So
a
I
blank.
just want to get that out of the way now, and now we can.
Sorry,
chit-chat.
Owen.
So yeah, now it's done though. But it's a really good series. So if you're into the transurfing or have any questions about it, you can start at the beginning one. It'll be just as good to you. And they did all the parts. They broke down every chapter, and they're about to finish it this week. So you could join that one live and even catch the other ones. But that is where you find it. It's not on Abby's channel. You're not crazy if you went there and you're like, it's not
It's not
there.
there.
I have a playlist. I just don't update it all the time. So.
Or put your appearances on your channel, on
Yeah.
your appearances. You just have to click everywhere that you've been, but on a special appearance bar, you put like Transurfing with Bootsy and then click, each one. Everyone out there, any place that you've been, anywhere you grab a mic and that you are on your own channel, put your appearances. It's important.
Sure.
It is.
So,
It's very true.
Layla, you got some sun today?
Yeah, I did for a little bit. I didn't know what else to do. I was like, you know what? Everybody, F you. I'm going to the beach. You guys, I'm done. I'm just going to the beach.
I love.
Yeah, but I've had too much.
When I see sun-kissed
too
woman,
much.
I am always jealous in a good way.
Yeah.
It's so like I'm so thankful. I have it like 5 minutes away. Like before, it used to be like a 2-hour drive to the beach. Now it's just like literally 5 minutes away. I love it. Take advantage of it when I can.
I just really feel like unless the beach is 10 minutes away, you don't live in Florida.
That's true.
Like you live in the swamp,
Mhm.
but you don't live in
Yeah.
Florida like I know Florida.
Yeah, I love it. Love it.
Fantastic.
Yes, I love it.
I feel so pale staring at you
sharks.
right now. This is how Florida people all turn to leather. I just want you guys to know that. When I see Layla, it brings out my like, well, when are you going to get to the beach? When are you going to get to the sun? You've been indoors, but I will tell you guys this in my grown up self. There isn't a day that goes by when I look outside and it's sunny in the summertime that I don't feel that same amount of excitement to step out of those doors of work into the sunny, perfect, hot, sweltering weather of Florida. Every day feels like summer to me, and I'm just as excited as if I was 13 and just
Yeah.
the bell just rang. Like I'm
Yeah.
so excited. And so on my off days, it feels like that same excitement. I can't wait to get to the beach.
Yeah, and plus we have like a longer summer. Like winter here is what, 3 months, 3-4 months tops. It's not even winter. You could just say it's like a really cold fall day or a really cold spring day. But other than that, it's not really winter out here. And it jumps in straight into heat. So I hit the beach, what, in April? I started hitting the beach. It's like, what? Yeah. We
And
didn't get to do that up north.
I live where the tropics begin. So I don't even, I'm like, we get
You
like,
don't get winter at all.
yeah, I'm like, maybe 2 weeks, not consecutive. Maybe where it's like, ooh, I couldn't be on the beach today. It's windy or chilly.
Yeah. It could be like so hot, but if it's like windy, I'm like, fuck that. I ain't going. All that sand flying in your face.
Oh
No
yeah,
way.
that's what people don't understand. On those days, I fully, like if I loved my woman, I'd be like, you should cover your full face and body. Burqa, hajib today. But only because I love you. I don't want you to get windburned
Hijab.
with them. Yeah. I don't want
You
you
know
to
what's
get
funny? You mentioned hijab, and the other day I was on the beach. I think it was last week. I was on the beach with my mom, and these hijabis start walking, heat 90 something degrees, and
Wait.
everyone.
Wait.
Yeah, yeah.
Hijabi? Is this
Yeah.
a racist? Like if I called somebody hijabi, like if
No, it's
like
a
I was
woman who
saying,
covers.
that's normal.
Yeah, a hijabi. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if I said it next to you, it wouldn't be like,
Mm-mm.
it would be
No.
okay. You would actually
Yeah.
be like, big up this
Not
white girl. She
politically
knew what a
incorrect.
hijabi was and didn't just say
Yeah,
blah.
hijabi. Yeah,
Okay,
woman who
that's okay.
covers. Yeah.
Cool. Small, that's a
So
new word.
the whole
And
idea.
sounds Racist.
of covering. Yeah, it does.
I'm allowed to say that? Like, did you see my like deep southerner was like, I'm allowed to
Wait,
say
I'm
I was
that?
allowed
wondering
to
the
say
same thing, though. I
hijabby?
was like, wait, what?
Like turban head or whatever the case is. How they had it back in the day.
I know. It sounds
Oh my
okay,
god.
go on.
But
So you and your mom.
the whole idea behind a hijab is so like you don't attract people with their gaze. But like you're in Florida, you're on a beach in a hijab
We're all
and and everyone's just like,
we're
oh, what the
clockwork
fuck is
oranging this bitch
yeah,
walking
and I'm like
by.
I'm like, wait a minute, doesn't that defeat the whole purpose of why you're covering? Like, that's like so nobody really stares at you, but you know you're in Florida state where no one really ever covers, especially on the beach. And it's like, what a contradiction, like literal walking contradiction. It was interesting to see. I'm like, how does that work?
That is such an interesting thing to think. Like initially I'm covering you because I want to stop people from gazing you. But now in America, more people are looking, so they can't actually see, but you're actually attracting more gaze. That
Yeah.
is a wild philosophy that I never even thought about before.
Yeah. I'm just like,
Yeah, you kind of become a
why?
spectacle.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if the stare. I wasn't staring because I was like, I know the deal, but like just the idea of them being on the beach, I was just like, that don't make sense, girls. Like, what are y'all doing? Like, and they looked great. Like, they looked nice. They had really nice clothes on, nice pants. They looked very white and like very modern hijabi, but still, like, go to the beach when nobody's there.
You know how like this is like this is a basic white boy fantasy in my brain. Like basic white boy fantasy. I'm at work slaving away at my office job and like Jules has a trench coat on and like nothing on underneath and she comes inside to my office and she like shuts the blinds and then naked. Okay, this is like basic
the
white
same
boy
thing.
fantasy. Imagine now if I was basic Muslim fantasy, my homegirl's walking around in her in her hijabi.
Hijab.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, I wonder what she got underneath there. Does she have any underwear?
I would actually like probably
like,
now my imagination's even further.
Yeah.
Going on. They
Like, I
made the
wonder
gays
what's under
worse.
there.
Chaney's got a new kink.
Like curiosity.
Curiosity. I always say that's the reason that God made me a lesbian because I'd have a birthing kink.
Yeah.
I'd be
Wait,
like,
knocking
all my
women up
baby
or like
mama.
watching it?
No, like I would in my one night stands, I'd mean it in the time. I'd mean it in the moment when I'd be like, oh girl, I love you so much, I want to get you pregnant. And then like after I'd be like, oh shit, I think I just got that bitch pregnant. And I'd have a lot of
I've only
baby
had
mamas.
one person
But I'd
say
mean
that
it in
to
the
me.
moment. I'd mean it in the moment. This is why I don't judge sometimes so hard. I'd mean it in the moment. I'd be Nick Cannon is what I'm saying. And I think if you decide that you're like,
An extra arm.
I'm going to have a lot of kids, blah, blah, blah. If you know already this about yourself, you might as well start with Mariah. Like, then, like, that's what you do. Your first baby mama is Mariah. And then you just start there.
That was an odd couple. Mariah and Nick Cannon. That was very odd.
I feel like he
One
got
extreme
paid
to
off
another.
somewhere like Mariah seems like because she was a Tommy Mottola groomed young girl and Tommy Mottola was like in his 40s, late 30s if I'm being conservative, but I think he was in his 40s and she was like
older, I think,
15, 16, 17 and finally they get married when she's 18. So she's already, and it's rumored like when Michael Jackson, he would stay on the phone all night and talk to like these certain abused artists and stuff. And Mariah was one of the ones. Like Michael calls Tommy Mottola the devil and like what he put Mariah through and is like as bad as what Peter Nygaard put Anna Nicole Smith through. And so when Mariah came out of that, they say you see this breaking of her psyche. That's where she starts never leaving her house anymore. Like she almost builds herself a castle and all this. So she really doesn't date. You know, we never see Mariah. She makes a couple of characters of herself, but she doesn't really date anyone.
Not
There's
anymore.
rumors until Nick Cannon. What a weird like.
What was he, like a CIA like puppet or something? Like he was everywhere. Nickelodeon. She's all that.
America's
Right?
Got Talent.
Yeah.
He was the host of. He was like the Ryan Seacrest of America's Got Talent with Howard Stern of the censorship.
Yeah, that rap show. What was it called?
Oh yeah, he did have his own MTV show too
Yeah.
on MK Ultra TV, where it
Yeah.
was like where that Rife kid came from, that everybody thinks is cute,
Oh
but
yeah.
he is not cute.
He's not cute.
He is not cute. And so that's one of those things where it's like
He looks
straight
like a
ladies.
girl.
I don't
He reminds me of
understand.
like a girl. Like, I don't know, very
Yeah.
girly. I don't know.
If I look up
Jade?
people like the same as like Keith Urban, Nicole Kidman's husband, if I look up people and their like old self before plastic surgery was like, what? That's how I feel about that Rife kid. Like he's like a Keith Urban where his old ugly version. Have you guys seen old Keith Urban to now?
No.
No.
This is worth it. I'm gonna show you. Keith Urban. Then now let me put it into the most trusted search engine on the planet, Google. Everyone, this is not a Google commercial. This is just how much we back Google here, just so that we get good with the algorithm because we back climate change. Okay, I'm going to show you this and you're going to be like, what the fuck? So if I see a picture of you in your house and you're selling me one image in this.
Wow.
Oh wow. Man, what money can do.
Yeah, because
Holy wow. But yeah, men age differently from women too though.
Yeah, but look how deep his lines
Yeah.
are here. Like he's so much
Yeah,
younger.
never mind.
Who else were we talking about that were we gonna pull up that I was gonna say then and now, but I said he's a Keith Urban. I already forgot the original dude that brought me to Keith Urban.
the comedian.
Oh,
Rife,
Matt Rife.
Rife.
Is it
whatever
Matt
his name.
Rife?
I forgot his name.
Then
he does comedy now, that guy, right?
I know I don't want to mix it up with the guy that's the Rife machine. Well, I guess, yeah, he feels like he has shit in his face to me. I can't deal with too much plastic surgery on anyone, and then especially on a man. It feels so feminine.
Yeah, he swore up and down that he didn't get any work done. Like he swore. Well, you can't get that strong ass fucking jaw out of nowhere.
That is weird. His jaw doesn't even look natural.
No.
It looks like a Zac Efron and his
Look how
like
different his
transformation.
chin is. It's like super
But
wide.
he could also be transvestigated, and I'm not even one of those people.
True.
He gives me very girly vibes. I don't know.
You guys are hearing it here first. Matt Rife, transvestigated.
Yeah.
This is usually my least favorite kind of conspiracy shit, but some of these men I look at and I'm like, y'all, that's a lesbian.
Uh-huh. Yeah. He's one of them.
Yeah. Right then. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, all right, you just fixed your teeth. Like, all right, I see. But sometimes I'm like, it's just little tiny little differences that I'm like, no, that ain't you. You'd be like, oh my God, we're going to have such beautiful babies.
Are you guys against plastic surgery or no?
I want people to feel good about themselves.
I want to get a nose job.
What?
Yeah. Because I have I can't breathe through one side of my
I'm
nose.
supposed
So I just
to get
want
a nose job, but
I want to fix it so I can breathe.
I'm scared I'll look different. I have a
You
deviated
could see
septum.
it. Yeah, it's right here, mine. Like right there, you could see it. It's so awful.
Mine's same.
Mhm.
I will
this side.
eventually have a big set of hooters because I'm want them for competing. So I am doing
Not
it.
too big.
No, I don't want
make
no.
them look
'Cause it
like
looks
they're
horrible.
tight balloons.
No, because when
with
they
veins.
cut, it looks so bad. So you don't want them big at all.
They can't
Because
be
when you have
too
no
big.
body fat, it looks horrible.
It's not.
Yeah, like a
cute.
nice C,
Yeah.
full C or D.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
Layla's nose likes a nice nose. Like mine, if you like,
know, it
this
is a
is
good
the
nose.
direction of my nose.
Yeah, it's
you
a
can
nice
see
nose.
it. It tilts right from here is where it's broken. I don't want it to fix at all. Like here, they tried to do plastic surgery on me. See that under my eye, that scar?
Yeah.
Because a ball hit my face. That's
a
and
ball.
that made it
not
gay.
balls.
That made me gay, you guys. It ripped the skin right there up into my eye. I'm telling you, when I tell you I'm bad at blowjobs, I mean it. No, but for real, like I broke my nose so many times, but I was always nervous my face would look different, and I'm comfortable with my silly face. When I've had
Yeah.
friends of mine that have gotten work done, and it makes me sad when they look different. Like I didn't know I was never gonna see you again.
Where'd
Like,
you go?
yeah,
Who
like,
sold you?
yeah, like you're
I mean,
there.
listen, if I had money, if I was like not woke or any of that, like I'd probably do exactly what these people are doing. I'd want to enhance myself. If it's there, why the fuck not? Like tighten
Upgrading your
where I need to
avatar.
tight. Yeah,
I would get this is a thing that makes friends of mine crazy because I'd be like, I'd get a boob job. I would love to have like A cup boobs. And so
BBL.
then I'll call it top surgery.
I would not let you get a BBL. I
Oh,
will
I
build
would
your
never
ass.
get a
I was
BBL.
like, I would never let you.
I would never get
I
a
will make your
BBL.
butt, okay?
They say there's a smell when you get BBL. Like you'll always smell a certain way, and it's called the BBL smell. Like everyone who's
What?
gotten a
No
Ew.
BBL,
way.
yeah, there's a
I
stench
saw
that comes with it.
like, I don't know, I just feel like if you can actually build that, you can't build breasts.
No,
You can build a chest, which is like the opposite of what you want, but you cannot fucking build a boobs, but you
Bill
can build
breasts,
an
no.
ass.
Uh-huh.
But a juicy booty, like you can put muscle there.
Yeah.
Like and you can like tell your fat where to go.
Yeah.
That's what I think that I think you guys should, for anyone out there that's looking for body contouring, is that yeah, Abby can make muscles, but she's also can direct her fat. It's not just if you see the whole transition her body goes through all the way to competition. Like you guys see it when it's super shredded sometimes when she has no fat and it's just muscles for competition. But she's also like building her where she wants her juice to go. Like if you want a juicy booty so it's not like when she says she could build a butt and you're like, "Oh, I don't want a perfectly muscular ass." She doesn't have a perfectly muscular ass sometimes. It's just a juicy booty, but she made
It's
it a
covered in
juicy
fat right
booty.
now. Yeah.
So how do you get
At
all
my
the food
normal
to stay
body,
down and not go up and not in the gut and just, thighs, ass, and legs? Like, how do you do that?
it's well,
She has waist trainer sometimes. She lifts
yeah, I
heavy stuff sometimes. She is like
So you have to work out the
usually,
part that you
even if
want
you're pretty
big.
lean, you usually start out by cutting. So, but the amount of food you get when you first start, because you're eating really nutrient dense food, it feels like so much food. You're like, oh my God, how am I going to eat this? But it's way less calories than what you're used to eating. And it's
Uh-huh.
hard to eat it all. But while you do that, you're repairing your metabolism. And it's important to do that and then to cut body fat. So you get as lean as possible before you start to build. And then from there, when you can just see when you can see the person's actual shape without fat, that's when you start like, okay, I see what you need. Like we need to grow your quads a little bit. We definitely need to grow your upper and lower glutes. You can look at the little things that need to be improved or where your body stores fat naturally. Some people it's their stomach. For me, it's like right at the top of my thigh below my butt. So like that's where my fat will always deposit first, and it's always the last place I'm gonna lose. And some people it's their waist. It just depends. But usually even if you're pretty lean, like you'll cut first just to see what's fat and what we're working with. And then
Mhm.
you gear your workouts towards what you need to, like if you want an hourglass, okay, well you need to build up your back muscles. Everyone pretty much looks good with nice rounded shoulder caps. So there's certain things that you can work into a workout program, and then there's other things like once you cut and then you
Rounded?
intentionally gain, yeah, yeah, like the
Like a
what
round, like
yeah,
a
just
thing?
capped.
Uh,
Yeah, because when they're capped, you don't even really have to have biceps. You don't even have to have triceps. If you have just nice shoulders, you look sexy.
mm,
yeah,
uh-huh.
shoulders are nice. Nice
I'm
shoulders.
not gonna lie, there's this injection that helps get rid of the traps up here. So it gives you like a more because I hate like those wings that come out. up here.
Yeah, you don't have any traps. Like, look at my traps.
Well, I know yours compared to
My
mine are
traps are
different, but mine
massive.
sometimes stick out, and I just fucking hate it. But anyway, I'm picking on
I
my
haven't
body.
exercised
do
in
like
over a
traps, though.
year, and I feel like my traps are bigger than yours.
I know. It's like
Sometimes maybe
you
because
are
I hunch.
so like you're a model shape, and it's like different than it's a specific shape that some of your body it's gonna be so different than any other normal person.
Yeah.
It's a reason designers like to design on it. It's not skinny. It's a model build. It's a whole different thing. They want you like a mannequin because it's like the inspiring shape of a muse for fashion.
Yeah, clothes just drape.
Yeah, and that's how they want it, because then they can pin, and then the clothes do the work. The clothes make you look like they have the hips. The clothes make you look like you have the bust. The
Snatched
clothes,
waist.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's why it's like where if you have any of the other curves, that gets in the way of what they want the dress to do.
That's true.
So some of you have to like, it's what people are like, oh my gosh, like when you're walking on the beach, like the other ladies are like, oh my gosh, I feel like I should cover up, even the skinny girls, because they in their whole life walking around, most people are like, models aren't real, that's airbrushing, that's fake, that's this. And then you're like, oh, but Layla in real life is like a model. And then you're like, oh, that's the difference of a skinny girl and somebody that you'd put clothes on.
Yeah, but Layla in real life doesn't like to walk around like, showing off her body. I like to wear shorts or cover up or stuff, like, because I feel self-conscious. Yeah.
But you don't have
And
to.
I don't have to, but it's just me in my head, Like, people are gonna look. Does she have a big ass? Oh, she doesn't have a big ass. Does she have? Oh, look at her cellulite. Oh, look at that. And it's just like, oh my god, I just rather cover up, just so I don't hear it in my head. They might not be saying that at all, but this, this brain does a lot to a woman.
I used to
Especially
be
when
the same way, and now I'm like even in my really thick body with cellulite again, I'm like, I feel self-conscious. I have body dysmorphia like crazy, but I'm also like, you know what? I love my body through this process. It's okay, because sometimes it's gonna have
who's
cellulite, sometimes it's gonna be a little jiggly and stuff, and other times it's gonna be lean and freaking hard and beautifully sculpted. It's
Yeah.
I
Whose
like the
video
way
I
you
saw
jiggle.
that I
What?
love? What's her name? She's our friend. Her sister just passed away from cancer.
Zinni.
Yeah, she just posted a video today about how she just broke up with her boyfriend yesterday, and something about him saying like, "Oh, you need to save for a tummy tuck or whatever." And she posted a video of herself in a bikini saying, "I fucking love my body," and shutting her stuff and just like owning it. And she's like, "Yeah, I love my body, and I'm not going to change anything about it. It took me this long to love it, but it was such an inspirational video." And I'm like, "Bitch, you fucking go."
And nobody
Fucking
would
go.
ever guess by seeing Zinni as a
That she's a
grown
mom.
woman that she ever dealt with weight problem. No one
Mhm.
would ever guess. This is like the thing that sometimes like people meet people at different phases in their life, but this is, I think, an interesting conversation in general, is like essentially people would see Abby and say she has a perfect body, and a whole other people in the planet would see Layla and say she has a perfect body. And both, like a whole bunch of people would be like, those women aren't ever insecure about their body. And I think
Yeah.
it's like, no, every woman is insecure about her body.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
are.
Every single one.
Every single one.
It's so weird. It's strange, isn't it?
It's a little odd.
So you should
Because I
watch a
want to
woman
tell
going through
every woman
prep.
with my man brain the stuff that they're insecure about. Like, and I feel like it's from the most masculine part of my brain. Like, because it's like, I just want to be like, the stuff you're insecure about is like the stuff, it's like, it's the seasoning on the steak. It's the, icing on the cake. It's the, like, all the things that, I don't know. To me, it just is like, well, that's what a woman looks like. I'm
You
not
know what I
attracted to a little girl or a boy. I'm attracted to
Yeah.
a woman. And
You
so
know, I'm more
women
worried
are
about
only
women.
capable of getting certain things
know.
that little boys don't get and little girls don't get. And so that's why I think there's certain things that are just really sexy about grown ass women.
I'm more worried about women, what they would say, because we're the ones who look at ourselves, and we're the ones who are always criticizing each other. It's like the women, no offense, women, but women are the first ones to go look at a woman to see if she has fucking cellulite or if
Well,
she
that's
got a
like
nice body.
I dress up more for work. I put on makeup every day for work. But if I'm just going to if it's the weekend and I'm going to the gym, I'll look butt ass ugly. I don't care. Like I go in with no makeup. I don't even brush my hair. And it's like I dress up for the women, not for the men. Like, and that's
Yeah.
what people don't realize. It's a competition. But I will say this: you're a 10, Layla. Like I don't
Oh,
know if you know that.
yeah, I
No,
fucking
no,
know
no, no.
that shit.
Yes, good. I was like,
Fucking
so all those bitches that are doing that, if they see a flaw in you, it's their own insecurity. It's them they're reflecting onto you, they're
I love you.
reflecting their own insecurities.
Oh, she
You
got.
are though.
I'm just kidding.
I love you, ladies. Damn, girl, you got a nice ass pooper. Let me touch
Um,
that pooper.
Hey, Abby, what do you think about Ozempic?
My
Let's talk about
issue. Okay,
Ozempic for a minute. What do
let's
you
talk
think?
about it. I think it's great for morbid obesity. I'm gonna say that, okay, because there are a lot of people who really do need to lose
So, like,
weight
if you're
in
the
order to just
whale,
live longer. Yeah.
and this is what I realized: not a whale, the
The
whale.
whale.
Like it's a new thing I'm gonna use, and everybody should just get used to it. Like if we called somebody, "Oh, that girl's a precious," we'd all know what that meant. I feel like if we say, "Oh, that person's the whale," we all know. Or we could call him Brendan Fraser. That might be nicer. And I'm not trying to pick, but that state of person, I totally agree with you. You need a drastic thing quick because you have
Yeah.
congestive heart failure, and we need to get you into
Yes.
this surgery.
Yep.
Go on. Sorry.
But otherwise, it's what people don't realize is that it's causing them to become catabolic. So they'll sit there and they'll see like their sagging stuff and they're like, oh, this is all extra. Okay. See, even I
Extra
have body
skin.
fat, but this is all extra skin, but it's not extra skin. It's body
Now
fat. If
make a
you can picture
muscle.
like this.
Now make a muscle. Okay.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, even Abby has body fat.
I do. But it's so what it's causing is the people to become catabolic because they're not eating. So when they're not eating, your body eats itself because
Kazan.
we're not fat burners. We do not burn. We run on gluconeogenesis. So we run on glucose. That's our primary fuel, which is sugar, right? Essentially, it's sugar. So if we're not eating sugars and stuff constantly and feeding our Krebs cycle, like the issue is that we don't just automatically burn fat. That's not what you're burning because fat doesn't convert to glucose. Muscle converts to glucose. So protein converts to sugar. If there's nothing else for the body to eat, it's going to eat the protein to continue fueling itself. So it's going to eat the muscle mass. And as you lose muscle mass, it slows down your metabolism and your body stops like it's not burning the fat. The fat's staying. You're actually burning.
And muscle's super dense. And once your body starts burning it, it happens so fast and it makes the scale drop like an MF. And it would mimic you having cancer. I just want you to know it is literally the exact same thing I'm trying to fight against right now is getting muscle like back of my cheeks and back of my jaw and places that you don't even realize that you lose muscle when you lose it. But you lose these tiny little muscles that it took your body a lifetime to gain. Like tiny little muscles that it was sports here and there, running up the stairs as a kid, balancing on things, standing on the back of a couch. Muscles you're never going to do those things again and get. And so it's like when you're doing the Ozempic, I'm like, you might as well be going like you're forcing your body to have cancer.
Yeah. And then the more muscle
Damn.
mass you lose, because the more muscle mass you have, the more calories you burn at rest. So the more calories you burn just by sleeping, by eating. And so if you're not like burning neatly, there's an acronym for that. That's what it is. But um if you're not burning without muscle mass, you slow down your metabolism even more. So that's why like lifting weights is so important. Like you don't have to look like me, but like maintaining muscle mass is what will keep you young. And it'll actually help your metabolism. It helps you to lose weight naturally. Like I have a client, I wish I could show her a picture right now. Just in 3.5 months, she's only lost 20 pounds, but her body went from being very, very obese to where she looks like a little athlete now. She's got the cutest little butt. I'm so freaking proud of her. Like, and she's like, I want the scale to be lower. I was like, we don't care about the
There'll
scale.
be a
Like,
time,
look,
I'm just
look
gonna
how
say
good
it
you look.
aloud. Abby will be able to show those pictures. Like her
Yeah,
client will be so proud of herself that she'll be like, okay, you can show the old me.
yeah.
And so
She's almost there too. She's just like,
I'm
oh
just
my
saying
gosh.
it aloud.
It's like
There'll
three
be
and
a
a half
time that,
months.
yeah.
And then I was like, look what's gonna happen in another 3 months. She's like, I know, I can't wait. I'm so excited. And I'm feeding her a lot. She's eating a lot of food, a lot more than she doesn't have to starve herself. She's just showing up for herself.
In 90 days, you guys, no matter what it is, and anyone will tell you this, it seems like, oh, 3 months, but look how old you guys are. Like my dad always used to say this all the time. When anything you questioned, if you were like, oh, I don't know, should I take this class to learn how to dive? Should I take this class to learn how to be an electrician? Should I take this class to learn how to be a welder? Should I take this class to learn how to surf? Whatever the thing. Well, the only thing difference between now and 3 months from now is you could be a surfer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing difference between now and 3 months from now is you could actually be in love with your body and have energy. The only thing now and 3 months from now, the only difference is really anything you think. Like the only thing difference between now and 3 months from now is you could play that song on the instrument you've always wanted to play.
Yeah.
It's like wild what 90 days will really do for your whole entire being.
That's being a Sims character. The more you practice, the more your tube of green just goes in another level of achievement.
Yeah.
And it just get better and better. That's how I
what I
look
wanna
at
say.
everyone now.
That's
Me
what
too. I
Luke
do
is,
I do
though.
that
It's
too.
like I don't do anything myself. I'm just a miserable wrench. And like I don't do shit. I don't. And then I see you walking around with your green thing, and I want a little bit of that energy. So if I can get you to give me any of that energy, love me, hate me, indifferent, then I just get some of your energy for doing nothing. And then that means I'm a more powerful magic than you. And
Mm,
that's what I always tell people. Like, if you, I don't care what your faith is, whatever your faith is, if you let somebody ruin your day, you let them have a more powerful magic than your faith or
yeah.
than your faith. Their magic was just more powerful than your faith that they ruined your day. And so I always just try to think of everybody that way. Sorry, I need to pack this joint and get my head on straight. I don't have a clear train of thought.
That's right. I kinda wanna
Lucky.
go off on the body
I'm
fat thing,
out.
the extra
I like
skin
it. Go
thing.
on.
So the extra skin thing, this is how you know. Like when you pinch it and there's like a centimeter there, you pull the skin. If it's not just skin, that's all body fat. Like a centimeter, that's a certain percentage of body fat or more.
All body fat.
So that's not body fat. That's a soft muscle too. So, but I'm just saying, if I have a video on my Instagram of my abs that I posted the other day, and you can see one part where I kind of pulled my shorts down to show my lower abdominals, and the skin is like paper thin. Like I pinched it and it's like this thin. I had like 0 body fat. But now if I pinch it, like I have a good centimeter there. Like so those people with the big old sagging stuff from doing Ozempic and losing a lot of weight, that is still body fat. Like
Ah.
because it's
And they
like this
start
thick.
looking like fucking skeletons after a while. It's
Yeah.
just
Cancer
loss of,
victims.
yeah. Like,
Sullen, like their eyes start sinking in.
yeah, what's his name? Scott Disick? If
The other thing that it does,
zombified.
it makes women fertile,
Babies.
extra fertile. So all these women that aren't even planning on it are all like,
Well-
"Yay, I'm gonna lose weight," and then they're getting pregnant, and so now they're just not gaining their weight back. They're like, "Fuck the world," and they're having the word like they're gaining pregnancy weight.
So if they're
mean,
unable to have
or
kids,
two.
a good way to have kids is take Ozempic. No
See,
IV
we're
treatments.
figuring out the things. Maybe just take a little Ozempic if you're the whale or you're like low fertility.
Mhm.
We're figuring this out. See, we don't need the medical system.
Heal the world.
No, we don't. We
Oh,
really don't.
yes, we do. We love the medical system and Google. Please keep us up on YouTube.
We love you
YouTube.
forever. You guys rock. Oh my God. Take over the world, please. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Totally said weird things about the fucking trying to explain how the body works. I know I didn't say that shit right. So, just for anybody's listening
Don't
who knows
correct
what I'm
her.
talking about, don't correct me. I know what I'm talking about sometimes.
She knows what she's talking about. Sometimes she gets nervous on air like this.
Yeah.
I get nervous sometimes. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. It sounds good
Yeah.
in my head.
Every once
Yeah.
in a while, we forget it's not just the three of us chit chatting with each other, and we remember that there's
Like, people
people
might
all.
fact check me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and we remember there's people fact checking stuff. We're not just
Yeah.
spieling out where it's just the three of us, and anything Abby tells us about the body, we just believe.
You should.
Because
Just
she's a
believe me.
walking testament to
Yeah,
it.
we're like, look at her. So if she was in our tribe, we wouldn't even question it. We just like hand me the plate and I eat it.
Yeah.
I've done all the research. It's just like, I don't have notes in front of me. Shit.
But you literally done the research. You were like your own experiment.
Yeah, I always have been though.
Hmm
It's always been like I studied freaking diet and stuff way before. Wait, I don't know.
I
I knew that was the key. 'Cause my mom had cancer, so I knew that was a big deal.
Mm.
I think it is. I think you can definitely eat away your cancer.
Yeah,
Or starve it.
yeah.
One or the other.
Alkaline. Most people are just full of acidity. Most people, everybody's diet, especially like an American diet, is just a very acidic diet. And that's one of the reasons when I was laying on my couch, like healing from all this and everything I had to eat every day, I was like, huh, the Boston Tea Party was a big, huge fucking psyop. Look at, we're still getting taxed, but we're not drinking tea anymore. We're drinking coffee, which is super acidic. Tea is very alkaline. So right there.
And moldy.
Yeah, so it's just like, oh, we should have never been a coffee country. We should have always been a tea country. But we were so busy wanting to, we aren't the British.
You know what's so weird? I've been a coffee drinker like most of my adult life, and just the past 2 weeks, I cannot drink coffee lately. It's grossing me out.
Since I started drinking it, I will say there isn't a time like
I need
every once in a
coffee.
while it'll make me all the way throw up, like just it hitting my stomach, like because I stopped drinking it all together while I was like getting all the way clean. It's like my body doesn't want it. It doesn't feel right. I force myself. I like it. I like the taste of it. I like the little buzz, but my stomach doesn't love it anymore.
Yeah, a lot of the coffee is known to have mold in it. So we're giving
Yeah.
ourselves, what's it called? That mold infestation in your body.
Look
Candida
at this
or
shit.
something?
Look at this
Yeah,
shit right
candida.
here. Purr, my Cherie pulling through.
Thank you.
Love ya, my
Extra.
Shout out to the chat. Like, hit the like, smash, hit the like.
Bootsy. Okay. Bootsy.
No, I've been worse though. I've been drinking energy drinks instead because, like, I don't know, for whatever reason, like
What's
coffee's
your
like
favorite energy drink right now? You guys, this is
Alani.
sometimes we'll talk about some trash because I think that Red Bull tropical energy drinks in the like yellow can, I drink it so slow. I knew the first time I sipped it, I was like, oh, and I don't even like energy drinks. I don't want the energy.
I don't.
But my
Oof.
body loves vitamin B. So anything with B12, B12, any of the B mold, my body's like, yes, 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 yes. Like a little crackhead almost for vitamin B. Even the way it hits me, I'm like sprung.
It's the taste for me. Oof.
Dude, this yellow can was so good. I sipped it and I was like, ooh, like I immediately gullimed where I was like, ooh, like I couldn't chug it fast. Like I was like, this so good. Like I have to sip it and savor it.
Yeah.
Like I was
You
like,
gotta
I can't have
try
those.
the Alani, the Cosmic Stardust is what it's called, but it's so good. Like, I wish it was just a soda and not an energy drink so I could drink it all day, but it's like 0 sugar and it's
Celsius, I
bussin'.
blamed it for blowing up my spleen for a little while. Like I'm pretty sure. I'm just gonna tell you, I will be really surprised if in 5 years or less, Celsius doesn't have a thing that comes out that's like, did you ever have your spleen explode?
Do you know what's interesting? I just saw an article that said that they've never seen this happen in young girls from 25 to 30 something of their pancreas exploding inside of them. Like a huge
What?
number. Yeah, I have to find the article again, but it's like a huge number of women's pancreas is exploding inside of them. I'm like,
How
what the
did that?
fuck?
I can't
I'm
believe you
l-
didn't send that link right over to Chaney. Shit.
yeah, I don't know. Girl, I've been
You know
in
what the
this like
weird thing
weird
about
world.
I think your
Yeah, you
pancreas
were,
is
huh?
like a snake inside your body. Like it has a head and then it's long and then has a tail.
Mm.
I only think this because I think I lost the tail of my snake.
Or it could be two. Since you have the large intestines and small intestines, the two different serpents that go around the pole, apparently. You know,
Yeah.
the symbol.
A bunch of
Yeah.
snakes in there. A bunch of snakes in
Snakes.
there. Snakes on this plane.
Yeah,
Oh
people
my
have the
gosh.
wrong impression of snakes and serpents. Like
So
throughout history, you know, ancient knowledge, snakes were a sign of protection. They weren't a sign of evil. It was all about protection. And then all of a sudden, somewhere along the timeline, they're evil.
I'm a
Destroy them.
fan. I'm a
Yeah.
Well,
fan
and
of
if you
the
don't
serpent.
have cats, snakes will eat your mice. So,
Yeah.
like black
I
snakes,
know, but
red
that's the
snakes.
house cat thing that I think is such an
Yeah, I
interesting
know. It's so
conspiracy.
crazy.
If
I
anyone looks
believe
into
it.
this conspiracy, I kind of believe it too, because it fits along the time of where Kemet becomes Egypt. And I think they start messing with science in a way that they start
Yeah.
blending animals. And that's why the Sphinx starts getting this man face. I think that's why Thoth looks like an ibis. I think that's where like whatever the old depictions were on the walls, these heads got put over them because they started to mess around with science and mix things. And so I think that the school of Isis, the women who practiced at the school of Isis walked around with big cats. They were very comfortable with big cats. It was normal for them to be around panthers, lions, leopards, all these things. And probably in reality, the big cats were probably all little cubs and coming up with these girls. So it probably looked a very threatening way, like, look at this woman walking around with these big cats, but she probably raised, they were probably all raised up together. But I think once we get to like the Cleopatra days, when we start seeing this, the Greek and Roman, they start wanting to tell us about the story of Egypt, almost like, oh, and then Mark Antony comes over and here's this love story. And we start getting this mixed tale, but we also see the cat change form. And so the house cat actually has nothing in common with the big cat. Its eyes ping different ways. Like a
Yep.
house cat's ping one way, a house cat's ping like a serpent. Even the way a house cat crawls, it doesn't crawl like a big cat. It's like everything's different. So there's a
It has
theory
the
that
eyelids like a snake too, right? Or
Yeah,
snakes
like
don't have
a
like a
eyelids, but
serpent. And
yeah.
so
they have
there's
the
a theory
coating,
that
right?
they mixed big cats with serpents to make the house cat.
And if you look at their
Be-
mouths open, it looks exactly the same, like the snake with its
Like
mouth
a
wide and the
viper.
cat. Yeah.
and there were schools in
And how they
India.
slither between your feet, it's like
It's the school of Isis was walking around with big cats, and then all the people in meditation in the schools of the Far East and Buddhism and Hinduism and stuff, and they were doing these things, snakes would curl up on the laps of people that would meditate long enough. The snake, it was warm, so the person was sitting there warm and still enough that the snake didn't even feel anything, and they would curl right up on their lap. But they would call that a ganga because that would protect their flesh while their spirit was gone. So they felt it a very great omen. So if you were mixing these two schools of thought, it's a house cat.
it is.
And the fact that they have 9 lives and how they slither their way through these thin fucking cracks or whatever openings that they can fit through that you thought that they couldn't fit through. It's just very interesting.
Even the way like they meow at us because they're mimicking a sound of a crying baby. They don't meow
Yeah.
in nature. They meow at humans. But the funny part is if you ever really mess around with your cats and stuff and they're really pissed, it hurts my feelings when my cat does it, but he's done it enough now that it makes me laugh. And I'm like, it's so jerky. He spits at me in this very snake kind of way where, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, oh, it always is really offensive because I thought we were playing. It's so offensive, but it makes me laugh too afterwards. But it's only like it's when I'm touching his tail specifically.
Very serpenty behavior.
All of it. Yeah, hissing even. I'm just like,
Okay, would it be a venom that house cats are essentially spreading a disease to every human on the planet to make them in love with them?
toxoplasmosis.
So it's not just
Or is it?
humans to be in love with them. Yeah, toxoplasmosis. So it's not just humans, it's mice. If a cow gets it, it makes us all obsessed with cats. Think of that perfect weapon. It might take thousands of years, but they'll all love us eventually.
In
Well,
Islam,
there-
the cat is actually revered as a very clean, animal, very peaceful animal, and the prophet supposedly like told everyone like cats are supposed to be respected and treated well. Hence why in Turkey like it's a cat oasis for like cats to live. Like everyone takes care of the cats. So there's different ideas to what the cat is, if they're protective or they're evil or whatever. But I don't know.
Well,
I
they
think
were
they're
totally
connected.
deified. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're totally deified in Egypt as well because they mummified cats, like no other animals. They didn't mummify cows or
Yeah.
any of that, but they mummified cats. Like they found like huge,
The
underground
spiritual
burials of
connection.
yeah.
They're, I would say, pound for pound, way scarier than a dog. Like, way scarier than a dog. Pound for pound, I feel like hand to hand combat, just me, mano y mano. I could take out a 100-pound dog, maybe even a 120-pound dog. Wits wise,
Yeah.
maybe a 140-pound dog. Like if I could get its back, like it might chew me up my arm, but if I could get its back, I'll choke that motherfucker out. But cat, 40-pound cat, 40 pounds,
It'll tear your
that's
face off
tear
if
my
it
fucking
wants to.
arm off, tear my legs. It's like how quick it gets into your flesh is unbelievable. If you've ever had a cat go haywire on you,
And like a cat scratch always get like they tend to get infected too. So it's so weird because they
because they got
are
their
very
dirty
clean.
little shit
Yeah.
nails.
Yeah.
Yeah, clean as a whistle with dirty. That's why I'm like watermelons with razor blades as hands.
Yeah.
And even that, like, there's something that I'm like, it could be a battle. We don't know. This is just a theory I'm coming up with right now. Big conspiracy, big psyop. Call your friends. There could be an underground battle, fungus versus feline on this planet, and that's all it's about.
Mm.
Fungus is trying to take us over. Felines are trying to win. Like, it's not eagle versus serpent. It's fungus versus feline.
Mm.
Could you
I love
theorize
cats. They're
this?
so evil, aren't they?
But why are they? Why is the cat a symbol
I don't think
of?
they're evil. Here's the other thing great about cats. Like they're automatically trained. They'll eat all of everything. But some things, like if your cat brings you gifts, it thinks you're a shitty cat. It's worried about you. It never sees you come in with anything raw. It thinks you're out there like this cat has been out there 8 hours today and she's coming empty-handed. Like it just thinks you're a lousy cat. If your cat doesn't bring you gifts all the time, it's not because it doesn't love you. It just really respects your catting. It's like this thing leaves and comes back with food for me. This thing leaves and has raw meat, has things I want. So it thinks when you're out in the world, wow, what a fantastic cat.
Cats are also very a symbol for psychedelics, whether it's shrooms or acid. Like back in the day, like AOL days and the GIFs and all that. All I can remember is a cat with the trippy eyes, and it's always like a symbol of like a trippy cat for some
Cat
reason.
The
surviving
Cheshire
falls
cat.
is so wild. Big cats aren't like that, but little cats, how
Yeah,
they like flip their body around, that's snake shit.
it is.
That is.
On my feet.
I love cats
So
though.
what if this, the snake in the Garden of Eden, when it was cursed, to slither on its belly? What if it was originally a cat?
Oh. A cat was like, this is the thing too. I have this real theory. It would be hard pressed. You know how they're like, oh, well, the Nephilim came down and slept with Earth girls. Earth girls are loyal to the foil. It will be hard pressed for them to sell out their Earth men. Like those aliens would have to do some shit for these women on Earth to sell out their Earth men. But if they come down looking like cats, you in trouble, boys. You in trouble, boys.
Ah,
Because they'll be like, oh, like if it makes girls have shoulders that drop and they feel protected, you're
mhm.
in trouble. So if it's like a Vincent from Beauty and the Beast type, like that's why I think they give women this over and over again because they'll be able to walk like so much of society into like men porn. Easy to walk them into online with porn, but girls need a princess fairy tale. So they're
Beauty and the
like
Beast.
a cat beast. Okay, what about
Furry?
this?
A
What about
furry?
would be the funniest short for the like this is a Paranoid American short. Belle, she walks in, she's like, oh my gosh, like the song happens. There's something sweet and almost kind, but he was mean and he was coarse and unrefined. Like that song, like,
Uh-huh.
and now there's something that there wasn't there before.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's so weird. Okay, that song happens. And then she's like, oh my gosh, I feel the beast right now. I gotta go and tell him. So she goes and she like walks into his room and he's like squat in the corner in a litter box.
Ew.
Well, never
His
mind.
whiskers are like this.
And then
Because
licking
that's
his
what,
ball
if
sack.
you ever accidentally make contact with your eyes in the litter box or your cats in the litter box, they're like this. They're whiskers. And I'm like, I apologize. I'm so sorry. We made dead eye contact. I was just trying to get the laundry.
Uh,
Okay.
when they
Sorry, that was
groom
intimate.
themselves, right
This
in the
is
balls.
most ridiculous conversation. I know.
What's
Wait,
new?
if your cat is ever like it's back
Is
legs
showering
up,
necessary?
it's totally licking its asshole. And then for some reason that's happening, your cat dead eye contact with you, and then its mouth like this.
So how do furries wash
You're like,
themselves?
why are you staring at me with your asshole next to you?
Have you ever seen
What?
somebody like make eye contact with you while they pick their nose and eat it? Like a grown ass adult?
No, but if I'm even driving and I see a grown ass adult do that in a car next to me, I can't eat for like 2 days. Like every
It
time I think
grosses
about
me
it in my
out
head, I drive. Like
so
you
bad.
saying it to me did
I
something
gag.
right here.
Yeah. I've seen grown ass. Well, what's
If
his
you
name?
fuck around with boogers, I feel like for real. If I walked in the house and my wife was doing anything weird with boogers, she might as well tell me she's transitioning. I'm out.
Who's that Seth guy?
Like
Like the
I
Isaac
could get
Cappy
over a
Seth guy?
lot of
Like
shit,
I
but
watched him pick his nose
boogers?
and eat it on TV. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with people? What's his
Nope.
name?
There's this.
Seth?
I gotta draw the line.
I
I
forgot
did
this
wound
guy's
care.
name.
I picked to do wound care and
Seth
cut
Green?
gangrene out of flesh. We said green at the same time, and I was saying gangrene,
Ooh,
and you said Seth Green. It was weird. I was cutting
this was
gangrene
weird.
out of flesh over work for a respiratory therapist and suck saliva out of lungs. I choose doing wound care over doing respiratory therapy. I think saliva spit, nostrils, boogers, any of this stuff. Like that's why
It
I'm
grosses
a
me out.
calm bitch. If you are a tiny little person, like you could probably even hit me. I'm gonna let you go. I'll be like, this poor little bitch, she didn't know better. I'll even let it go. But if you hawker on me or something, you will see the most ghetto. You wonder what in your head. I wonder what redneck and ghetto looks like if it collided. Spit on
Mhm.
me. Spit on me. You will see what the redneck like. You will see what it looks like. Oh my gosh! Did that airboat just go? Like you will see, like it's a gator. I will gator roll you.
So I guess you don't like your partner spitting in your mouth and during intimate.
Oh,
That is
I couldn't do that either.
no,
That
that is.
grosses
But
me
you know
out.
what? I've been with people that are into that sort of thing. Like, where they'll be like, spit in my mouth,
You dirty little
and
slut.
I'll
Spit in
spit
my
on
mouth.
you, but I won't spit in your mouth.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty open minded, but that just doesn't do it for me at all.
I don't mind. I
Depending
don't
on the
mind. When I'm
dog.
in a moment, I don't like.
I'm
I'm
not
not
grossed
thinking
out by
about that.
any
I was
of
gonna say
your
most everything
fluids
else
in the
doesn't
moment.
bother me, but
Any
yeah,
of your fluids in the moment, I'm not grossed out. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. I ain't trying to
I'm
scat
just
play or nothing, but
oh hell no,
There was this
no,
podcaster
that's a hard pass too.
on Joe Rogan. I forgot his name. Is hilarious. They were talking about like drugs and shit, and just talking about a night that he had out, and they were doing crazy amounts of cocaine and whatever. And he's like, you know what the best feeling in the world is? He's like, when you wake up and you have like a snot rocket full of cocaine and it's all crystallized.
this is real life.
And he fucking eats it.
This is
like, bro.
so many cokeheads I know.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Look at Abby just turned.
I'm not
Abby
a booger
was
person.
like,
Any kind of fucking
Yeah, I forgot
mucusy
his
shit
name.
is disgusting.
Got the fucking name. He's hilarious.
whiter
I
shade
work
of
with
pale.
bunch of kids, but man, boogers were like where I
No.
draw the
You know what I
line.
really respect about moms too? I'm gonna tell you. If you have a baby and you got a clean baby, I respect you as a mom. To keep a baby clean, I understand. That baby has so much going on, like spit up and boogers and snotty and saliva, and like it's like keeping its little nails trimmed and keeping its little eye boogers clean. Like I understand it's a lot going. It's like something that's producing dirt. Like it's self-producing dirt. And so I really respect moms when I see a clean baby. When I see kids with, I'm like,
Well, a
oh,
lot of the times when kids become like that, because babies are not really supposed to be all mucusy and running like that, but because they, what we're not allowed to talk about, it causes inflammation in them, and that's what the body develops all this mucus and all this phlegm that comes out of your brand new fucking baby, and you're wondering, oh, my baby's sick. Well, what did you give it? Oh, nothing. I just went to the doctor and you got its shots, and now it's screaming its head off, and it has 100 and something fever, and you're giving it Tylenol. It's like, you're wondering why your child is all snotty and boogery? My brother's baby, thank God, knock on wood, not vaccinated, nothing. Is he a snotty little child? Nope. No
but
boogers, no
we
weird.
back that.
Yeah, we do. Yes, we do. 100%. I didn't say it though, did I?
No.
Yeah.
Well, you did say the V word, but
Did
listen,
I?
computers
Yeah.
listening. This is how I know we're gonna get taken down, but this is why we're all here.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's a battle against the censors, but we'll be back.
Yeah, we will always be
Because
back.
we're always going to get triggered and say something about this. Even when I said, oh, but we like those things. I couldn't even, we don't. Not one of them is a good one. We'll debate anyone on it. Your doctor friend, your nurse friend.
Even antibiotics, they cause depression apparently.
I took
For months, like a deep depression.
I took
And I'm like,
antibiotics
wow.
one time in like 20 years. Like I didn't take an antibiotic until my spleen. Because I think people over antibiotic, they over Z-Pack. I thought it was weird because Brittany even did a Z-Pack post. And she's like, I want to go to Mexico. They're trying to make it so I don't go to Mexico. I want to do a Z-Pack. And that's just a heavy dose of antibiotic. And I'm like, people are just doing so many antibiotic that your body doesn't know how to produce its own antibodies.
Mm-hmm.
I have an issue with that. I mean, I saw so much with kids where they had antibiotics all the time, and
steroids.
They were always sick. Yeah, always sick. And I don't know. They're important. They do have a place. Like there's a time and a place.
Oh my gosh, this is a
Sometimes you need
great
it, but
idea. I didn't even think about this. What about if the things I'm like, this is just because people hate me because I'm gay? When we get in trouble online, what if I wrote
Hate
to
speech?
YouTube and say, it's just I have haters because I'm gay?
Ooh.
I bet I could write them and it would at least take off one of the things.
Yeah, like they're pride shaming me.
I tried to have my friends on and they were going to celebrate, and like they hate it because my friends are so celebratory of my LGBTQ.
Uh-huh.
Oh
that
my
would
gosh,
be great.
I'll be like, look at me up, and it's like it's really just because I'm a homosexual. They hate me.
Yeah.
It's because my pronouns. They hate my pronouns.
What would your pronouns be?
That would make me so blasphemous feeling to even.
Zzgg, Zemze,
Zem, Zister, Twisted Sister.
Or
can mine be Twisted Sister? People from the 80s will get it.
No,
oh my gosh,
sister.
That is such a good idea, though. See, this is why you brainstorm.
I like that.
Yeah. My pronouns are haw-ye or yeehaw.
We're from the South. You don't get it yet.
But that is kind of clever. Use their shit against them.
Oh, absolutely.
It's because we were Layla's Muslim and I'm gay. Oh wait, we can't say that right now because I think the censors are trying to figure out if they should be on the side of Muslim or the side of Palestine. Like they don't. The censors don't know what to do right now. So maybe I should just be like.
That's a weird one. Because
it's breaking the brains of the liberals. They don't know what to say.
Say you're a gay witch. That's good enough. That's what somebody
Yeah.
said in the chat.
Oh, gay witch.
Riggs, tell them you're a gay witch. They'll love it.
I can't say I'm a lesbian MAGA. It doesn't sound as appropriate. I'll be like, oh, really? They take me down because of my MAGA. I mean, my witch. Oh my gosh.
Say it in English. Chaney.
MAGA promised not to tax anyone who makes tips, like on tip money. So if like you're a bar,
Thank God. That used to be the
Yeah.
best profession.
yeah. I was like, oh, okay, daddy. All right. What else? What else? There's a few other things, but it was just like last minute, like,
Oh, because he had a rally
X.
in Vegas.
Yeah.
A
And
big
he's
one.
like, I promise, when I get into the Oval Office, I will make sure that no one who makes tips is taxed on their tips. So I was like, ooh, okay. I like that because they take about $500 out of my fucking tips for
They shouldn't
taxes.
tax the tips. It's such a ridiculous thing. I go to work, I work for my boss. My boss pays employment tax. I work for my boss. If I do my job above and beyond, you, with your cash money, you hand
Give me a
that to
gift.
me. And that has
Yeah.
nothing to do with the government, with my boss, with anything. Once the government got its fucking hands in our tips, you guys don't realize, if you don't work in the fucking service industry, what also happened with this is what happened was you guys think we're going to fucking tip. But what happened is all because of all the employment taxes skyrocketing, we started have to pay the difference to all the kitchen workers, all the bus workers, the hosts, the everyone. So you think you're tipping your server or your bartender. Let's say you think you're tipping them $10. By the time they're getting taxed on the $10, even though they're having to come out of pocket and pay the other employees, they're the one eating the tax on it. So
Mhm.
it's like this unsaid thing that they're only walking with that after you give them that $10. Maybe they get $4 of it. They're eating the $10 of tax on it, and they're giving everybody else the tip uncash. They get the cash in the restaurant. Everybody else gets the fucking cash.
Yeah.
It makes me
It's fucking
insane.
annoying.
It's
And a
so
lot of people don't
annoying.
know that people just make their money off of tips because the minimum wage goes to the taxes. And then after that, whatever you make with tips, that gets taxed on top of that. So you're not seeing any of the hourly pay because that's a chunk of your taxes. And then whatever you make with fucking tips is taxed. And it's like, what the
And
fuck?
you're paying the taxes on the other employees in the restaurant that they're not having to pay it because the bosses aren't having to pay it.
Yeah, and it's like
such
you
a
guys are taking
scoundrel
my
thing.
my essence. It's like you're taking my energy of what I've done for that money. It's like you're taking a part of my essence of that work. Like you're
Is
taking
the
my
service
energy. That's
industry
what it is.
is it the same in Florida where you actually make like $2 an hour in the service industry and then your
Some
tips are
places yes, some places no.
It depends how
Like
many stars your restaurant is, really.
yeah. Like I get
it's like
paid minimum wage plus tips.
because like the service industry in Nevada, they can't do that. Like they have to at least make the federal minimum wage and then they get their tips. So it's like
Yeah, some get paid $2.50 an
yeah,
hour. Mm-hmm.
that's so insane
Yeah.
to me.
I've been
It's
in
the
that
same
serving
here.
life where we didn't even care about checks. Like we
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
didn't you'd come every once in a while, the restaurant would hand you like 4 or 5 checks and you'd be like, oh, I didn't even know these were there. And some of them would be 000 because like,
Yeah.
your $2 an hour didn't cover whatever credit card taxes that you got that time. And so you didn't even care about your tips. And then I worked in liberal Oregon, where starting a business there must be hell because
Yeah.
you have to pay your employees all minimum wage, even if they're making
Yeah.
great tips. So when I realized really quickly,
Nevada's the same.
oh, this is the first time in my life that being the bartender isn't the best tipping gig. Being the server is better tipping because the servers are bringing all the good drinks. No one wants to sit at the bar. Like it's a
Yeah.
whole different. And so I was like, oh, I had to reshift because my whole life in the service industry, you want to get to that bar job because if
Mhm.
you've never done it back in the day, you guys, you could make like a comfortable $2,000 in 3 days of work. Like comfortably, you would just have a little roll of cash and it wasn't like 3 8-hour days. It was like you showed up at
5-hour
8
shifts.
p.m. Yeah, you showed up at 8 p.m. You closed down the bar at 2, cleaned everything out by 3. We're hanging out with your peeps.
Mhm.
And you just had a wad of cash all the time that the government didn't know about.
Yeah.
So great. Oh, that was so easy. Those were such the days. Even a shitty serving job. If you just found a run of the mill serving job, you were just like, okay, $50 an hour. That's like kind of in your head. You'd be like, $50 an hour. I can be in and out of here.
Yeah,
Like that's
that's why.
Applebee's shit. That was Applebee's shit back in the day.
But I am getting tired of it, honestly. Like, I am so getting tired of this industry, like, working in it. Like, I'd rather own my own establishment and just run the show at this point. And that's what me and my sister are planning to do. Like, we're property hunting for a spot so we could just fucking open it and just not deal with it and just deal with the operations part of it. Because I'm tired. I've done this for too fucking long. Too fucking long.
I'm tired.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
tired.
It's this the small chit chat that, I'm just over it. Like, NPC talk and like going along with people's like, oh yeah, and pretend to be interested. Like, I'm not.
You almost
Drunk
did.
people.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm
Mic
not.
check. Mic check.
Like, hi, how are you? I miss you. Oh, yeah, thanks for coming in again. Some people I love that come in, but sometimes it's just like, who the fuck do you think you are, bro? This is my bar. Sit your ass
Uh-huh.
down. Sit
I
your
had
motherfucking ass
some
down.
pompous motherfucker. He's creepy as fuck. And I read all the notes in his little chart. Creepy as fuck, creepy as fuck. And I let him go. And then he just kept being creepy as fuck. One of the dudes took him back, come back out, creepy as fuck. And then I'm like, I'm turning into the Elsa. Like that's where some girls turn into Elsa and they let it go, let it go. When I turn into Elsa, I turn into the motherfucking Ice Queen. Like it is a whole different world when I turned into the motherfucking Ice Queen. And so this bitch, I don't even know why, but he was going like in his creepiness, he said something about the Beach Boys, and I was like, a CIA band? Like this, if I'm in the normal world and I CIA anything, oh, we're about to go there. Like, oh, you think you're gonna out crazy me? Oh, let's fucking go. It's like anyone that thinks they're gonna, oh, you think you're gonna make me uncomfortable with sexual innuendo? Let's get weird, bitch.
Okay,
And that's
so what's
another
weird
thing.
about the
Yeah.
oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No,
I
go
said
ahead,
the
go
Let
ahead.
It Go song. It's like changing the subject, but I went to a pro bodybuilding show yesterday, and this big beefy guy, he's a professional bodybuilder. They get to choose their music to pose to, and they do posing routines. And he did it to Let It Go, and he's sitting there like singing it. Sometimes it was the cutest thing ever because he's like this freaking massive man with big old freaking arms and legs, and like he's singing Elsa.
That's
It was so funny. Or
back to the work thing. Um, Another big thing that a lot of women don't talk about is like how much sexual harassment actually happens in that field. A
oh my
lot.
gosh.
A
My
lot.
daughter keeps getting her ass smacked by 2 of her coworkers. I was like, "Why don't
Wow.
you say something?" Like, I was like,
Yeah,
"That's
sue the
sexual
shit out of the
harassment, that's
fucking
not okay."
company.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh. I mean, it happens on a daily, at least 5 times a day. Like anyone who's working, it could be the fucking chefs, it could be the fucking bussers or your partner or even customers. Because they think like, oh, you're a bartender, I can say whatever I want to you and like be smart and funny about it. No. And a lot of that happens in that industry for some reason.
No.
It's like, it's okay.
Alcohol
It's
and
okay. I could
assholes
talk
as
to you
as
like
the
that.
guys. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some lady said to me today, and for real, if I already told you this, like stop me. Like I keep playing it in my head because I'm like, in my moment, I wasn't trying to debate, argue, nothing. Sometimes people just come in, I really don't care what they say. I'm just trying to be like really great at my job and make them have a great experience. And I want to big up whatever it is you think. I want to find a way to big up it. This lady came in today, me and my coworker are chit-chatting, and some guy was leaving and he had a dope hat on that had the Florida flag on it. And I was like, I bet you I could design a cool Florida flag with a pot leaf on it and make us a hat. Like I'm geeked out. I always make hats. I need to start making Secret Society of Good Guy hats. Anyways, this lady walks in. I hate Florida. I hate it here. And I'm like, oh, this is her first word, and me and him are just talking about daydreaming about a hat. Like we have and he's from here, I'm from here. Like we're always just talking about how much we love here. Like that sometimes one of the
Yeah.
things we have in common is here. And so we were like, huh? And I was like, oh, I'm a proud Floridian. I'm born and raised here. And she's like, oh, I'm from Florida. And I'm like, she's like on edge. And I'm like, oh. And she's like, I just hate when people get in your space and they have to talk about things. Like, we're just not in the time that everyone has to talk about things. And I'm like, oh, like, are you
Yeah, we
being
are.
I'm like, are you being harassed somewhere for like, I mean, this is like just a normal lady. You would never even like, there's 1,000 of her in every town we live in. You're nothing about her. Would you be like, oh, let me pick on something about you? You're different. Like nothing is like, I'm like, huh? And then she goes, have you ever been to a gun show here? And I'm like, yeah, I've been to I mean, if you're in Florida, there's a gun show within a 50-mile radius every weekend. It's not, I'm like, yeah. And she's like, oh, it's such a like political debate. And I'm like, I didn't even know what side to take. Like, even if I was just like, I want to take her side. She's the coolest person I ever seen. I want her to like me. I didn't know how. I was like, am I pro gun or anti gun? Am I pro like she just said
Pro.
such yeah, well, I know what I am, but she just said such a juxtaposition in my brain like don't go
Like,
to the
who are
gun
you?
show, or was there
Should I?
protesters outside the gun
Yeah. Like,
show?
what's
Like
happening?
it was so stupid. But yeah, that's why she hates Florida, is because have I ever been to a gun show around here?
Was she, or does she not like guns?
I don't know. She didn't. We took her in
Couldn't
the
figure
room.
it out.
Sometimes our stale, because we're like blah 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 blah. There's noise and music, and then people say stuff that makes us uncomfortable because we're going to talk about it later, and so we just do this
Not right now.
because we kind of know too. They're all a little high, and so now they're just spinning, keep talking, and we're like. Oh my
Give him
gosh,
that
I could
cold
write a
stare.
movie. Bro, I could write a movie about the dispensary. I feel like it's my $1 million idea.
It's
Do
like
it.
Clerks, but pot.
It is wild. People
It
think,
is
"Oh, it
why.
must be fun." Every single person that comes in the dispensary, every single one says, "Oh, slow today?" Every single one always. Like, no, we have people coming like we're just
In and out.
shoveling people, like we're really efficient. We have enough people here to take care of you. But
Well,
every single person, if they walk in and there's not a person in the waiting room, slow today, and it
did they
just makes
think
you
that
like,
everyone just hangs out there and that
yeah,
doesn't go
that we're
home?
just hanging out smoking joints in the back. Like we just I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I wish." We all wish that we were just smoking joints in the back.
Yeah.
We
You
all
guys
can't
can
wait to
smoke
get
in the
out.
store, right?
No. And
No?
this is the
They
other thing
probably
too.
not.
If you come late to this fucking dispensary, no one wants to smoke more than the people working at the dispensary. We've been around weed all day, talking about weed all day. All we want to do when we get off is eat our fucking cupcake. We all want to smoke our joint. We all want to go home and hit our concentrate. Whatever the thing is, we can't wait. And so if you come in my fucking work a minute before we close and we have to give you a consultation and we're opening shelves, we all hate you. We are
Yeah.
all putting evil spells. This is every restaurant in the world. If you come into my restaurant 1 minute before we close, my whole entire kitchen, my dishwasher, my line cook, my sous chef, they all hate you and your family,
Yes.
your whole family. They hate you.
Yes.
Even
Yes.
and I think that energy is worse than spit in your food.
Not
Like,
even just a minute. 15 minutes before
15
closing,
minutes,
20
yeah.
minutes before they're closing. You really want to go in there and like bother the people, like they're about to close, and you think we're going to be happy to see your ass after like we're done finishing closing this that. And oh, you guys are closing. Oh, we're just going to be quick. I don't give a shit if you're going to be
if
quick or
you
not.
walk in a place and they have any cleaning supply and you walk in and you say, "Oh, I'm
You guys
sorry.
are closing?
Are you closing?" That employee isn't allowed to tell you, "Yeah, you stupid fucking cunt. What does it fucking look like we're doing?" They have to say, "Oh, no, 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 no.
I'm just about to clean the floors.
Our guest. Be our
Be our
guest."
guest.
But we all hate you. But we're
Yeah.
not allowed to say it. No matter the job. I don't care if it's a fucking doctor's office. I don't care if it's Target. If you are deciding to be that person, that the whole world, this is the same, you're the same person, the equivalent. If you slow up all of traffic, because you have to make some U-turn in the middle of the road. And so now we're all going 15 miles an hour because you don't know where to turn. Instead of just turning, fucking looking at your directions and doing it again, you're the same kind of person that goes in late.
Yeah.
To
And
a
you're not
place.
going to get my
Well,
energy, my good energy. You're going to get the bitch. You're
what
going to
about
get
the
short
grocery store?
answers.
What's your fake
Like,
smile? How do you look if me and Abby came into your work?
Oh, I don't
Fucking
smile.
10 minutes before you close, here come me and Abby. Drunk
I don't
girls.
smile.
Hey, where can we sit? What's your face?
Hi. Yeah. What would you like? Here's your water. Whenever you're ready. We have 10 minutes. Kitchen's closing in 15 minutes. Like very dry. I don't want you here energy.
Who would ever?
Fuck out of here. And then once they get their food out, I'm just like, oh, how is everything? Everything okay? Good, good. And I'm just sitting there waiting, just making them feel uncomfortable and like on my phone, sitting at the bar, staring at them just so they know that I'm waiting for them. Because
I had
no.
a thing in my bar that anywhere I was the head bartender at, that I also controlled the music. The last hour of my shift, I went a decibel up every few minutes. Every time I thought about it, I went and turned the jukebox up. Every time I thought about it, I went and turned the jukebox up. We're screaming at each other now. What? Tell me. Okay. Like,
I do the
because
opposite. I turn the
turn it
music
up.
down.
I turn it up, 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 up. So that way, on last call, I pause it. Last call. My lights go up at last call. You guys can have a fucking drink, but it's not going to be comfortable in here. And when I turn my fucking music off, it's piercing silence to you. It was so loud for that last hour that when I turn it off, it's like the tumbleweed blows by in your brain. You know to get the fuck out of there. Like, that's the only reason. I want to shock your sense with silence and brightness. I'll have my lights on so comfortable. When that music goes silent, boom, it'll be like,
The worst is, oh, I know you want to go home. I'm so sorry. I know, like, we came in last minute. I know you want to go, and it keeps saying, I know you want to go home. I know you want us out of here. And I don't want to say, I want to say, yeah, I want you to get the fuck out of here. But we're like, no, it's okay. You know,
no, I'm relying on this tip because my taxes of you staying here right now are really going in the shitter. Whereas before I was making $62 an hour, since I've had to be there this extra 2 hours. Now that's gone down to $38 an hour. Thanks. The service industry. It's so much. Uh-oh. What did someone say?
I don't know. People like to think that they know you sometimes. You know?
I know. We let it out here. You don't know how good we are at faking it.
Yeah. We're
I'm
really good.
I run into the
Oh.
grocery store like 5 minutes before it closes. I do that all the
Yeah.
time.
Like my job,
But
everyone comes to see me.
but when
Like,
I go like 5. I know
Layla,
I'm doing one thing.
love you. Like my peeps, I love them. The ones that I don't know and you coming in, you're not getting my lovey-dovey energy. You're going to get the bitch. That's it. And that's everybody that works in that industry.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You pay for your regulars. Some of my regulars, they pay me currency and time. Some of
Mhm.
it's currency and currency.
They give me
That
both.
Yeah, some of it is like I had a couple of old men veteran regulars that they would come in and they'd be like, "Here's how much money I have today," and I'd be like, "I can get you a picture for that." And then it was never because sometimes I had to take money out of my tip jar to get them the whole picture, but it was just like whatever. Sometimes I'd
Mhm.
eat it for like a couple of little dudes because I like their war stories or
Or when
whatever.
someone pulls out a 50 and they're like, "Hey, I know we're in late, but here's $50. Thanks for taking care of us." It's like, "Oh, okay." You know, like that's the
Those people
proper way
that
to
get it,
tip.
it's the same people that if you're going in to watch a sporting event, I'm going to watch a football game. I'm going to sit in your section. You better, I don't care if it's Hooters, don't just pay for your tab. You're paying for every hour you're taking up that table. So this is where people need to know if you haven't been in the service industry, you think I'm going to I tip 20%. I'm a 20%. I'm such a good tipper. That doesn't mean anything if you sat there for 3 hours.
Yeah, because I could have had 3 other guests sitting there or 2 other guests sitting there and make, triple
And
what I
you
would have
might
made
think
with you.
20% is a good tip, but my regulars sometimes will 100% me.
Yeah. Always match it.
And so
But
that's the
anyway,
thing where, yeah, it's
that's the
like
tip
20%
industry.
good tip, you know, blah, blah, blah. But then if you're going to sit there 3 hours, throw in a little extra, like pay for the land. Like you're renting a table, you're renting, so you can't turn that because you're there.
Yep.
So yeah, those are the people. Look at always tip 33%. So then they know.
Rigs.
Illuminati confirmed. If you're out on a date with a dude, or a woman, whatever the case may be, because I judge even if I'm with friends. If you treat servers bad or tip shitty, and I have to clean up your tip, like but I kind of already know some of my peeps that I'm like, oh, I don't want them. So even if they're like, I'll get it, I'll get it, I'll get it, I'll be like, let me get the tip. Let me get the tip. You know, just so at least that way I know I can hook the server up.
I mean, even shitty tippers, shitty waiters or waitresses or whatever, bartenders, I see that they're trying their best. I will tip them. It might not be the greatest service, but I'll still tip them more than, 20%.
Oh my gosh, I've never
I just,
stiffed. I've
yeah,
gotten stiff change before.
yeah,
Where
I
I
give
put
that
to
back.
somebody, sorry about your wait on their thing, and they wrote, sorry about your tip, and they left me change.
Yeah, I have
And
people.
I always still think about it like fair play. It made me like kind of smile that
Yeah,
night. That made me laugh.
couple rude customers I've had who like leave like a few pennies or whatever as a tip, and I'll say, "Oh no, no, thank you. You probably need that more than I do." Like pennies, get the fuck out of my face with that shit. Take
Anytime
them
in
back.
life I've ever worked with in the service industry, I've never
Take
been the
that back.
one. I'm just not this person. But I have worked with bartenders and servers that have chased people out in the parking lot to make like, no, no, no. Or like, did I do something wrong? Did I do something to offend you? You're gonna leave here without where I always love it. I've never been the one to do it, but I back it. Like, here, take this. I don't want this. I don't want this. Like, I would be disgusted to have your dollar in my pocket.
Yeah, I've probably am all customer service drained out. I've been in this field since I was like 17, 16, working in retail, management, then restaurants, and it's just a lot of acting. Almost like being an actor in Hollywood and like not wanting to do it anymore.
Do you think they had to kill the service industry a little bit because the service industry was it was like being maskless in them trying to sell us university college education. Like before they were selling us 15-minute cities, they were selling us universities and how we're all going to think alike and that we're going to call that higher education. So there was this direct opposition of when you were in the service industry, all your friends that were like wasting their life in college, that they were like, well, I get out of here at the school, I'm going to make this much. And you were like, oh, I make that now, like
Yeah.
without any of the. And so it was like direct, or if you were a person putting yourself through college, it was the only way that you could. Like I was a person that put myself through college on tips. So, and it was like, really it was affordable for me to go to school and work and like because I didn't have to be there 40 hours a week.
Dude, like I was going into the corporate world in retail, but I figured the amount of hours that I'd be working, I could make that in less hours just bartending or fucking waiting tables and work less hours and make the same exact money that these people in fucking corporate make. And I'm just like, some bartenders make over 6 digits bartending
For Billy
here.
Hicks, you in our chat, I just have to say you have to watch the movie Waiting. You have to watch the movie Waiting because there's one specific server who's the best server of all the servers to her clientele, but every time she gets behind the way, she's like, these motherfuckers. Like but she's the best of all the servers. All the best people in the service industry, the best bartenders, best service, they have the harshest vents. Like
Yeah.
you don't understand how much it takes to fucking act with these NPC motherfuckers like you care because they don't care about you. And some of them treat you like a little servant and you just have to fucking bite the inside of your mouth and you take it because you need that tip. You're trying to pay your bills too. So it's just like, ugh.
But I hated like busing or hostessing, and the fucking servers were like they were so nice when my family would eat at the restaurant. Like they were the best servers, right? But then you work with them and they treat everyone under them like shit too, though. Like
Yeah.
horrible people. Not
I
just
will
venting.
say,
I mean, they're just shitty
my
people.
bussers are
They are fake.
bomb.com. If they're bomb.com, I'll
Yeah.
treat my bussers bomb.com. But there's so many lazy fucking bussers that I have to go and pull out of places. And then I still, even if they're not doing anything, even if I'm busting the table, I still have to tip them the same fucking amount.
Yep.
Fuck that kid.
I was
Yep.
never that person though. Like I'm the
Yeah, but
first like
so I had to deal with 400 others. So
Yeah.
I didn't get to know you very well. I
Or pulling
apologize.
tips, which
Yeah.
Yeah,
was
and then I'm
fucking
pulling
annoying.
tips. Layla has to deal with, oh, Chaney's hungover again. Chaney's been sitting on her ass, hanging out with her friends over in the corner at table
Yeah, while I'm
32 the whole
busting my
time.
ass and giving the best A1 customer service, and you guys are giving mediocre shit, and I'm getting 30% tips, and you guys are getting like 10, 15, but I still have to split my tips with you fucking lazy ass people. Like, that's what I
And
will
here's the
never
other
work for
thing
an
that
industry like
hostesses
that.
do. We go to the hostess. I tell the hostess, just so you know, you can double seat me. I'm good. You could double seat me. Layla goes to the hostess and she's like, hey girl,
Don't
please
seat me.
don't seat me right now. I am drowning. Don't seat me. That the fucking hostess never listens. Again, Layla eventually has to come to me and she's like, Chaney, can you take this table on the other side of the restaurant completely out of your section? Because just you as my girl, I'm drowning right now. And we're gonna drink about this later. And I'm like, no problem, no problem. What's your side work? What do you need? I got my tables are good. So now we're having to struggle. Nobody knows this
Yeah.
whole fucking thing's going on because some 17-year-old girl is just fucking like dawdling on a dry erase board.
Mm-hmm.
So
Or
There's
on
a
her
lot of
phone.
fucking dumb people.
Or
Yeah.
making out with somebody in the cooler, or having a quick session in the bathroom with her boyfriend, or some weird fucking crazy shit happens in these industries.
And I will also say the restaurant industry is creepy in a grooming sense because sometimes there is some creepy older men and some very young impressionable girls in these restaurant situations. And sometimes these hostesses and these bussers and these little kids, they're like young, and then they're around grown ass people, grown ass situations,
Uh-huh.
grown ass stuff. And sometimes I feel like some of the like men in the industry, I'm like, this seems so like if it were in any other walk of any other industry, no one would stand for this. Like the amount of like, this is inappropriate.
I saw it with the dishwashers and the cooks all the time. And the girls I was in high school with. Like it was weird.
The restaurant industry. It's like, woo. I imagine it's very similar to like the bottom of a Navy boat.
Probably.
It's just
I
very
hear
similar.
back in the day, I heard it was even more scandalous than it is now. Like, people like would close up, and then the whole staff would start drinking and partying and doing fucking lines on the
100.
bar, and like having orgies and all kinds of shit
Yeah, we
after
didn't
the
have
doors
cameras
closed.
everywhere. We didn't have phone. No, everybody didn't have a phone fucking camera in their pocket. So it was like we all like every single we have this whole brewery keys. Oh, we have the whole bar keys. Oh, we have the whole restaurant keys. Who's going to tell? We're the owners and the operators and the managers and the servers and it's like every place we ever worked, it's like rarely did we corporate work. So it was like we all have to have TGI Fridays shut by a certain no, who does those jobs? We always worked for places that it's like I worked at one time at a pool hall that I would just stay open and let the dudes gamble. Because
Yeah.
like gambling hall, you make 10% of the winners cut if they're good gamblers. Like they hook up their dealer, which I'm not their dealer. I'm their bartender who I'm just cleaning officer. Oh, my buddies, I don't want to be in here alone. I'm just a tiny little girl.
Hmm.
But then a lot of the times I live in a small enough town, the cops will be like, "Hey Chaney, what you doing in here?" And I'd be like, "Oh my God, you just scared the shit out of all of us."
Oh man, oh man.
But yeah.
That's the industry, y'all.
Yeah, that was
That's a little
little
taste
that was the vent. I didn't
behind the scenes, uncut.
But I
It's
will
like
say overall, like if you ask for things like to your server, I hear some people I go out with and they're like, like whatever they want, whatever they eat, they're like, oh, I don't want onions in that. I don't want to ask for that. I'm like, ask for it. Ask for no onions. They're like, I don't want spit in my food. That shit doesn't get spit in your food. Like if you're a normal patron at a place at a normal time, everybody wants to big up you and give you the best service, the best food, the best quality thing. ask for the things. If you hate something, your server doesn't want you to leave hungry still. And sometimes it happens where you'll get something and you'll be like, I'm sorry, this is cooked wrong, or I just hate it. Tell them, they want to fix
Yeah.
it for you.
Yeah.
Like that's the stuff where I would say in the services, you'd be surprised. A bartender doesn't want you to drink a shitty drink that you just watched him muddle. If you're like, I'm sorry, I hate this, they might even stick a straw in it and try it, because and they'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry, I mixed that with I didn't even know that I accidentally put tequila and gin in that. Like
Uh-huh.
it tastes like doo doo. So it's like, stand up for yourself in a restaurant, and they want to help you because they want you to leave like, if a server is worth their salt, if a bartender is worth their salt, they're professional and they're good at what they do. They can make you the best cosmopolitan you've ever had. They do know the difference just by looking at the steak. That's not cooked right. And they'll hand it back to their chef. Like, there is great service industry people, but you can ask for that stuff. They want to show you it. Like, yeah, get as much parm. If somebody comes around, do you want you want crushed pepper on this? Crush your heart out. They don't mind. Don't be like, I want more, but I'm scared with them crushing it for me. They don't care. They'll crush your little face out. They have parm for you. I want more parm.
Or this, if you need something and it's a bunch of things, I need ketchup, I need napkins, I need straws, I need this, I need that. Instead of one at a time, ask for it all in the beginning. Can you give me this sauce with this and this and this, instead of making the waiter or waitress go back a million times just to get you these things. Meanwhile, they have other tables to look after, and it's time consuming.
I call that combining your call.
Yeah.
Don't just, and this I just say, take the restaurant out of it. If you're out to eat with people and you are thinking, I'm going to ask the server for blank, in your little head, while you're there, all in your little world, I'm going to ask the server for a napkin or a silverware or a condiment of some sort. Maybe as a polite adult, you say, hey, you guys, I'm going to ask the server for this. Do you guys need anything? Because
that makes a
nobody
world
does
of a
that.
difference.
It makes
Yeah.
me crazy when I'm out to eat with my grown-up friends and they snatch the server for a second and they're like, another Cosmo, and the server goes away. And I'm like, you didn't ask anybody else if they wanted a drink at the table? Like, you're rude as fuck. Grow up, everyone. That's little kid shit to do. So sometimes I feel like that's not even the server. That's just you being an appropriate adult. If you're ever going to ask anyone in a restaurant from now on and you're with other people, ask them if they need anything too. Like, that's just the little rule of etiquette that I feel like somewhere adults have lost.
Yeah.
And here's another thing. Sometimes everybody's not a fast eater. Sometimes maybe you're just a little chatty. If you look down at your plate and you have a whole thing of food and you look around the table and nobody has food, you might just be carrying the conversation the whole time and not letting anyone else speak.
Yeah, they're probably like, shut up and eat your fucking food, bro. It's getting cold.
I know, because sometimes you want the next course and the server won't come over in nice restaurants until the course is clear. And so you're like, you already know what you ordered for your next course. You're like, ooh, I can't wait to get my steak tartare. I can't wait to get my steak tartare. But Layla won't finish her oysters.
Layla won't shut the fuck up.
I love good food, you guys. This is what I'm
So do I.
realizing the older I get. I love raw meat. Like, I always love steak tartare, but now tuna tataki is my new.
That I like, tuna tartare.
Oh my god, this is what I mean. Like, this kind of raw meat, but or seared sushi. Like, I feel like my sushi game is growing up. Like, I used to be like, California roll, little tempura roll, little blah blah blah. Now I'm like, oh, I get it. I get the raw fish thing, like I got the raw steak thing.
Yeah, tuna carpaccio.
Oh, stop. I didn't know. I didn't know. I can't believe
So
how
good.
long. Because once you have something bad, it takes a long time for you to retry it and trust someone. This is shout out to my Maria, because I shout out to my wife for the steak tartare. She knows my palate so well that she knew I'd like this. But this has been one of my favorite things to put in my mouth for like 20 years, steak tartare. But I'm not a big fish eater. Like, I don't, and I'm not going to eat raw fish. So on my birthday, when I was hanging out with my Maria, and she ordered like maybe tuna tataki, but a version of the seared tuna to sushi. And she's like, "You'll like this. Just try it." And I'm like, "These little chopsticks. Try it." Oh my god. So then I searched for this, like every sushi restaurant. I would text her, "What do we have that night? What do we have that night?" And they wouldn't have the exact thing on the menu because, Japanese cooking, I was unaware that I just liked a good piece of tuna seared. Like the flavor on it was whatever, but I didn't know yet. And so then finally on Jules's birthday, we went to a really nice restaurant and I'm like, "They can't disappoint me here. This restaurant's so nice that they offer sushi. I know it's gonna be right." So then, I'm like, babe, can I text my Maria?" And she's like, "Yeah, yeah." So I'm like, "What kind of sushi do I like?" And so she is like, "Try this, this, or this." Like she stopped giving me the one. She was like, it drove her crazy, and she finally gave me three. So then I told Jules, this, or this, and she's like, "Okay, you'll like this." Oh man, I was like, I'm gonna be getting like tuna so frequently now. I just hadn't
Yeah.
had good tuna before.
Yeah, I never used to be a sushi fan until I went to this girl's birthday at this really nice sushi restaurant in Bryant Park. I think it's called Koi. She's like, just try it, just try it. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I've had a bad experience, food poisoning. She's like, no, it's not like that here. And finally I tried it. I was like, girl, oh my God, thank you for inviting me. Now I love sushi. I love it. I love Asian food. Any
I
type of
always
Asian
loved
food.
sushi, but I
Yeah.
just never I never raw dogged. But I think the steak tartare and that it was like American enough, like steak tartare. It felt like, all right. It felt a little
Tartar.
patriotic. Yeah.
Tartaria.
Steak
Tartaria.
tartaria. Oh my gosh, that's the name of our restaurant.
I wonder where they got tartar from. Tartar. Tartar.
Tartar sauce.
Tartar?
Tartarus. It's
Is
the
that what it is?
sauce of
Tartar?
hell. Anyone that would put pickles in mayonnaise, that's hellion food.
I love mayo.
I do too, but I only like it mixed with things. It's such a good but it's just eggs. It's eggs and oil. It's like a nice, easy like base for so many things, and it makes a dreamy aioli.
Mm,
I just, I don't know.
I like a nice aioli.
You know what?
Aioli.
Actually, I hate saying this. Veganaise makes a better aioli.
Veganaise?
Yeah, the consistency of it and the way that it holds hot sauce in it and the way like mayonnaise does a thing where it starts to, like if you're bringing it to events and stuff, it'll separate and not be as pretty. Veganaise is gorgeous and so much of our palate is with our eyeballs, and so it just holds together in such this way and it actually tastes better. Like if I were going to make you an egg like some egg burrito or something and made you a vegan or made you an aioli for it, I would probably make it vegan even if I had bacon in the burrito. I just think the vegan aioli is where it's at. Like veganaise is kind of delicious.
Aioli. Oh my God.
I know it's GMO
Food.
soy, but we're eating things
I'm
called
getting hungry.
Hellmann's. What's the Hellmann's family? Like it's probably like 18 chemicals we can't pronounce.
Hellmann's.
Hell
It's weird because on the
man.
West Coast it's Best Foods, same brand.
Here's a
Super.
weird little shopping trick. I'm sure it's like most moms know this, but I didn't know, and I'm like, what? So the store brand that's next to the main label is made at the same factory.
Probably with the same
Didn't know that.
ingredients too.
Like, if the container looks similar and it's like, it doesn't matter if it's a pill, it doesn't matter if it's a cleaning detergent, it doesn't matter. It's like made at the exact same place. It just has different labeling.
Yep. And usually same products, maybe
Yeah,
one
you can look
or
at the same
two things
ingredients.
different. Yeah.
I don't freaking trust off-brand mayo though. It's got to be like I don't know.
Well, most of them
It's
say,
just too questionable.
Oh, I make my own. Like
Yeah.
if I'm gonna mayo now, like if I were gonna cook for you guys and want you to have mayo on
Yeah.
something, I'm gonna bring you a little thing of mayo that I make.
Most of them have
I
the
could, but I'm
engineered
drinking mayo.
GMO engineered label on it now. A lot of them do.
Mayo. I have a friend that mayo is their most disgusting food. Their two least favorite foods on the planet are mayo and donuts. And so then I was always thinking like one day I want to get her a mayo filled donut.
Ish.
I hate
Doesn't
it
that
in
seem like the
mayo flavor
grossest thing
too.
ever? Like, what if I took the like Bavarian cream out of a donut and put it with mayo, and you went to bite it in the morning?
Eesh.
Wouldn't that
That'd
just
be
be a
horrible.
weird prank to play on somebody? Is if you got a whole bunch of jelly donuts and then just filled them with different condiments, like one of them they bit sweet pickle.
It might work with like a savory donut because you can make a savory style donut if you wanted to.
If you made a savory donut for real, this would be I would dice bacon, brie, and tomatoes and basil,
Arugula.
and I would pipe it inside of just a sweet dough, and I would eat it warm, and that would be the best breakfast.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree.
There is
I
a
could
donut shop here that sells like bacon covered donuts and stuff. What is it called? I forget.
It's really good on a sugar waffle, but I think you could sweet dough it and make it a delicious savory
Sweet and
breakfast.
savory. Oof, I'd
Yeah.
love that combo.
Only at breakfast do I want that kind of stuff. Or if I'm like drunk. If you guys get if you're one of the very few people out there in the world that gets to see me intoxicated at like a 3 o'clock in the morning and we Waffle House, or if the stars align and it's International House of Pancakes. Because if I ever have to choose between Denny's or one of those, IHOP. Always bring me to IHOP. If you're trying to woo me,
I like IHOP.
International. I want a smiley face.
I do chicken and waffles or chicken and pancakes. That's what I do. I substitute the waffles for the pancakes. And if I do Waffle House, I will do the Philly cheese bowl melt, whatever it's called. The Philly. I love that.
Love a late night breakfast place at
Yeah.
2 o'clock in the morning.
A drunk place where you can
If somebody else now I love that there's no car involved. Like we could actually Uber and be like, oh my God, we should Uber to Denny's. Like I wish where we Airbnb'd, we were closer to shit. Because we would have gotten trubs. We would have been like, let's leave. But driving, it was so far away from everything.
Yeah. And the cops were everywhere. And we're like, fuck that. Fuck that.
I know. It should be an interesting week this week. Yeah, Denny's is a scene at 3 a.m. I feel like there could be a whole movie about that.
Why is this week an interesting week?
Well,
I know we had tons of sharks
It
today.
seemed like a very Pisces day to me. The 6 and 9 of it all. 69, dude. That's what I almost made our thumbnail, but I didn't know if anyone would get it. So I felt it like an interesting energy. But yeah, the sharks in the Panhandle are crazy.
We had about 100 by the pier. I don't know what they were. I think bull sharks and tiger sharks, and they're just swimming all on the shoreline, like hundreds of them today. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? And they're talking about the water that's just heating up, and it's already hitting record-breaking numbers, and it's just going to get hotter and hotter to levels that we haven't seen it before here in the Gulf. So I don't know what's going on, but I think they're prepping for some really hardcore hurricane season this year. That's what
I will just tell you, in my weather wars, heartbrain, chemtrails, and everything else they're up to, the Gulf and the Mediterranean are really the only two places on the planet that you have to fuck with to change the weather everywhere. It's not as big of a deal as everybody thinks. Everybody thinks oh, if I wanted to mess with Florida, I'd mess with the Gulf. But really, if you wanted to mess with Northern Europe and create an early winter for them, you'd mess with the Gulf, because the way the jet stream flows through it, it's supposed to be a spiral. But already with that, when that well blew up in the Gulf, all that cleaner that Halliburton used that sank all that oil to the bottom, it did something with the jet stream, so it stopped curling up in the Gulf. And so that warms the wet air, so it doesn't create those huge storms all up in the northern Atlantic later on in the year. But that's where I just think the Gulf, to me, it's the biggest, stillest water on the planet, that if I'm going to just shoot a laser at it, I don't have to heat up everything. If you just heat the ionosphere up 1 degree, it changes our weather so catastrophically. It's insane, especially if you do it in a quick amount of time.
Yeah.
So I always theorize that they could do this on land with all of our phones. Like they could just, if there's enough of us in any one place, like a Super Bowl, they just have to make our phone 0.02 degrees warm the whole time we're all together. And that could change the ionosphere. So what if it's like this thing, they could just shoot a laser directly in it and just get the temperature boiling, boiling, boiling. At first, the area boiling would be this, and then it'd be this, and then it'd be this, but it'd make all these animals that normally hunt in deeper waters up toward shore, or sonar underwater too. But I think it could be a combination.
It's just weird.
Like
It's not normal activity.
No, and if you have a storm in that Gulf, anyone who knows anything about hurricanes, that Gulf is every other piece of land that a storm hits breaks it apart, except Florida, because we have so much swampland that's just sitting on top. It's just this warm glass that's just sitting there. It has shades, it has things, it cools it down a little. The Gulf being still water like that, and it's been extra still. Everyone's like, the Gulf's extra pretty right now, less waves than normal. All this, it's like extra less windy. Like all the it just seems right that this perfect mirror to heat up would devastate, because a storm that's created in the Gulf can devastate the Carolinas. It's not just Florida. It can devastate the Texas.
The whole
It
east
can
side.
devastate. So then if you have a whole bunch of people coming through a border, and then Texas they don't need a Mexico gets catastrophic hurricanes out of the Gulf. I don't know.
I
If
don't
I'm
know.
playing Weather Wars with my Lego brain.
Well, this is definitely Weather Wars.
Which
for
shout
sure.
out
It's
to
like
Kristen
global.
for making us Legos. She's gonna send them to us, and we're all gonna have our little care packages of Legos that she made. We do have the best listeners ever, and so shout out for making those little cute things of
They're
us.
adorable. Love them.
Paying a little homage to Paranoid American toys, which if you want one of those, not of Chaney or Abby or Layla, but maybe you want one of Hillary Clinton, you can get those at paranoidamerican.com. I might have one behind me, do I?
I like that.
No, I have Hunter Biden party pack behind me.
I gave that to my brother. He thought it was hilarious.
I took all mine to work to show my coworkers.
What do you guys think of the whole jet fuel thing?
Melting buildings?
Do you think jet fuel is an actual thing that they use to fly these aircrafts, or do you think it's some kind of magnetic and just, where to go, turbine technology? Do you think it's that? Because I can't see how they would fit thousands of gallons of fuel in one little craft to go like from point A to point B half across the way around the world. Like they say that jet fuel is like a psyop. I went down that rabbit hole, and like they say that that's not how they run with jet fuel. They just run through.
I know that in the Piper aircraft, for sure, in the some of the designs, the gas is in the wings.
In the wings. A lot
That's
of
what
the
they
time.
say.
Well,
I don't know about that.
There's the airline. I've walked through the plant, like the way that they filled them. I've detailed, like part of my job once when I was younger, like in my teenage years, to make money, I would detail people's airplanes. And so just certain things that I had to, like, they have all these little holes on them. Like I watch them getting filled up with gas, and and boat motors too, and motorcycle engines, how far engines
Yeah.
really can go. And the thing about airplanes is, like, once they're up in the air, they don't require as much gasoline as like a car. I mean, like a car, they're like compared in size, because it's not the same kind of like friction that they're having to go through. So if you look at like a little motorcycle engine, like even a Harley, that amount of gas and that goes so far. And that's a big engine. It's like a boat motor. If you look at how small a boat motor is and how long that gas will last in a boat engine. But there is different places that they do put it, and I do think
There's a whole conspiracy around it. It's so weird. It's very weird.
This is where I would ask for real is my debate on the conspiracy, that I would like my contrarian on both sides is, I've been around planes enough, but here's the thing. I never put jet fuel in a plane. I put gas in a plane.
Yeah.
I never
fuel.
there was
Diesel.
never some higher grade fuel that was jet fuel. This is jet fuel though. This one has a higher combustion than other, which I'm sure exists. So like my alchemy brain isn't smart enough for it. So I could like where the second if we were in the debate in my philosophy contrarian brain, I want to be like, well, part of me knows a certain thing about gas and airplanes, but also I've never been around enormous airplanes with like I've been around smaller personal airplanes and never jet fuel unless it's just normal fuel. So yeah, I feel kind of stupid when I'm like, I don't even know what jet fuel is. Like, is that just is that a
Like if you're
special name for
burning fuel,
Jet
shouldn't
fuel
you
and
see?
gasoline are both petroleum-based fuels, but they have different chemical compositions and are used for different purposes. Jet fuel is a type of kerosene that is used to power jet engines and airplanes. It has higher flash point and lower some word with a V that I'm like not pronouncing right now than gasoline, which
vagina?
means no volatility. I just couldn't pronounce it. Which means it's less likely to ignite and evaporate at normal temperatures. Jet fuel also has a higher energy density than gasoline, which means it can provide more energy per unit of volume. Gasoline, on the
So
other
if you
hand, is lighter fuel and is used to power internal combustion engines in cars, trucks, and other vehicles.
So, Layla, in my opinion, I would just say, in my Chaney Legoland
yeah,
opinion, there could
I
be
don't
a
know.
conspiracy
Yeah,
to it, and it could be the same as like an atomic bomb, where they're
yeah.
trying to convince us, but look how much more powerful this Tesla rocket is, this SpaceX. But nope, that's just gunpowder too.
I think it's like a psyop where they say like it's real just so that they can like keep it in production in a sense to make money and say, oh, jet fuels burn the buildings or whatever the case may be. But like if you think about it, when you see gases burning like that and that kind of speed, wouldn't you be able to, not like chemtrails, because chemtrails, you can see the chem trail of it all. But with airplanes, you don't really see anything like burning after it. Like all that fuel burning, like you would a rocket or whatever, you don't see that combustion of fuel burning out of it. You know what I'm saying? You don't see that.
Well,
You
I
don't
think
see the
that's what it's
smoke.
saying is that it's less likely to ignite. I don't think that it's supposed to, like the other one has a, like car fuel, like gasoline, has a
Hmm.
lower flash point. So,
Huh. Well, then it sounds like everything you're saying, Abby, that chemtrails should never happen.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
Because if your
you
jet
mean
fuel was
contrails? Are you saying contrails or are you
well, I'm
saying
saying that if it's a jet and it's that high and it's using jet fuel and
contrails are
it's having the
chemtrails,
last
though? They're
of a
different.
combustion, but are they different or are they like just trying to like they like blend this whole thing in that they're like, you're not seeing a chemtrail, that's just a normal contrail from a plane. Like you're not seeing this, that's just this. It's like this gaslighting, but in reality, if it's jet fuel, we shouldn't
Literal
be seeing
gaslighting.
anything. It is great, I will say, because of all the stuff we're not allowed to talk about because they get taken down. For some reason, the censors do let us talk about things like chemtrails now. There was a
Yeah.
time that we couldn't talk about chemtrails without getting taken down.
Yeah.
Like, and they
Now we're
blocked.
allowed.
I know people that they've blocked they had huge channels and like even Spiro Gear. That guy will probably come. I think he did Frankenskies. The guy who did Frankenskies, whatever that guy's it. He made around for a while, but he also does Spiro Gear. You can find it, but it's the block EMF rays.
I think we should all be wearing lead suits now at this point, from head to
Lead
toe.
suits.
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm getting my sun. You ain't gonna keep me from my sun. Like my sunset today looked like behind Abby. I just feel like the Florida sky is chef's kiss. Like it is so gorgy, and I love it. I love the sunset. I love the sunrise. I love the moonrise. I just love looking up.
Such an interesting realm.
Yes, I'm blown away. And some of these people I'm blown away. Like I'm just like, whew, we just live in you just choose your reality. We're just in a choose your reality adventure. It's not even
Yeah.
it's not a choose your adventure. Reality. It's a choose
It
your
is.
reality adventure.
Your reality
Exactly.
and not choosing somebody else's reality
Most
too.
people don't realize that they are choosing constantly.
Hmm.
Every single thing that is our structure are built around us. Our religion, our family, our education, our things are like pretty much the box we try to get out of that becomes our foundation. Like it's almost like we're in the box and we have to get on top of the box to flatten the box for it to become our foundation. But it's really all that stuff that triggers you the most is the stuff that you're here to put words to. Like that, the stuff that you're like, "Ugh!" It's so triggering because you just don't have the words for it yet, but you're here to put the words to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's wild. What about this hobby? A girl came in my work today, and she was a jump girl,
A
and I was
jump girl?
yeah, she jumped out of planes on the
Oh.
weekend and, like,
Oh,
hung
that's
out at the
dope.
jump bar and, like, hung out with the skydivers. And this is what they did. They all camped out and jumped, and she invited me to hang out. And I'm like, "How long do you hang out with skydivers until you're in the plane?"
What's
She's
this
like,
I hear about like skydivers and stuff? They say that a lot of these skydivers who do it as a like a normal thing, they find that these people end up being really depressed because they've reached the ultimate like rush in life and like that excitement, and that's why they keep doing it just to replay that excitement that life doesn't seem as exciting, and then they become into this depressed like individual. I was listening to a podcast on that. I don't know how long ago, but it was just a very interesting theory on like the thrill. And once you skydive and have that first moment, life feels different for a lot of people.
"Hmm."
Hmm.
I would wonder if people sometimes weren't they're depressed in general, and skydiving, like the gym or like whatever thing you become passionate about is like a help for their depression. And so when they're not doing it, they're like, "Oh, here's that again." It's like their little drug, like
Hmm.
their thing. I think
Yeah.
all of us, for real, all it's like happy is a fake thing. Happiness is a psyop. We have fleeting moments of
Oh, don't
happiness.
say that.
No, I
No,
think it's
I'm
fine that it
kidding. I'm
is.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
it's an
like it's
emotion though. That's all it
yeah.
is. It's an emotion. It's not really a state.
It's not a
It's
state
not
you
a
wanna
sustainable
permanently be
state.
in. But
Yeah.
sadness is also a fleeting emotion, like, and it's different than depression. And sometimes I just think, like, it isn't necessarily because the thrill makes people depressed afterward. I think thrill seekers are typically depressed at normal life. Like, it's just because the run of the mill, like, they have to. It's like whether they're climbing the highest mountain or jumping out of the tallest plane or doing whatever. I think there's some kind of like
Well,
they see past a matrix in a way of like, we're not supposed to do this, but I'm gonna do it.
here's a story of Solomon and him searching for a particular ring. He asked this jewelry maker, "Can you find me a ring that will make me happy and sad at the same time?" And he's like, "Sure, I'll go out and search for the ring and blah, blah, blah." And he's going to different jewelers and he's looking for a ring that can make him happy and sad. And he finally stumbles upon this one jeweler and he's like, "Listen, I'm looking for a ring that can make you happy and sad." And he's like, "Sure, I got just the thing." So he brings out the ring, and in it, it says, "This too shall pass." So in a happy moment, when you're thinking about it, "This too shall pass" will make you sad. And then on a sad moment, "This too shall pass" will make you happy because you know this situation will pass too. So it's a ring that can make you both, a ring that can, I forgot how it was worded, but you guys get it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, each moment is a passing moment. It can make you
Yeah.
happy or sad.
It really is like it is a decision to stay there. It's a decision. It's like
Mhm.
every day, if you're like, I want to be a happier person, it's a decision, like a bunch of little decisions throughout the day to like
Mhm.
stay there because you hit your pinky toe and have to clean up shit on the floor and somebody's too loud or somebody cut you off and somebody, but is that a, oh, I hate it here. Have you ever been to a gun show in Florida?
But this is my thing though, is that everybody is like, yeah, it's a choice. And if you always are like, I just want to be happy. reality is a mirror, and all it hears you say is that you want to be happy, which means you're
Instead
not
of I
happy,
am.
and it's gonna give you exactly what you want, just like you're ordering at a drive-through. It's gonna say, "Okay, here you go. You want more happiness, or you want to be happy? I'm gonna give you more wanting to be happy." So
Hmm.
you're choosing to not have happiness by affirming it and thinking that way. But not only that, it's like, why do you want to be happy? Wouldn't you be I mean, happy is good, and it's awesome when you're happy, but it's also really good to just be content sometimes. Like, what's wrong with being content? Like, I'm content in this moment right now. Like, I'm not feeling like happy, like I'm feeling freaking I'm content to be here. I'm happy to be with you guys, yes, but like the idea is that like content is really the level that we should all strive for in our day to day. Happy is something that we should experience like throughout our day,
'Cause
or
I'm happy.
I don't know.
Like
That's
a
just my
room
thoughts on it.
without a roof. There used to be a lady because there's this karaoke tiki bar right up the road, and on Thursday nights, like all these oldies tiki or like karaoke. There used to be this church lady that she would sing happy, but she was like the church director, and so she would be like, "I'm so happy like a room without a roof," and she'd get everyone clapping. But she'd never ever try to sing it any different, and I never got it recorded because I always thought every week she does this, next week I'm gonna get it. And I never got it, and then she changed her song. I wanted to request it.
Dang
Like,
it.
dang, never gonna hear
Ca-
her do happy again.
Carpe diem. Carpe
But if
Yeah, and
diem.
you
that's
if
where
it's
if I
always
would
a
have enjoyed it.
destination though, if it's always a destination, like happiness is on the other side of something, it's always gonna elude you. So you have to choose it in the moment. And I really
What
think
a
that you do
weird
that
realm.
by not
It's
by being in the
raining.
moment. If you're in the future or you're in the past too much, like it's okay to visit both those places, but if you're there too much, you're never gonna freaking find happiness now.
Weird reality. So
It's
weird.
it's raining here for like the first time in so long. Like it's the driest I ever seen this little
Nice.
area of Florida. And I feel like that's like such a good like
Omen.
he just on life is that I appreciate all my sunny days, and I love sunny Florida because I lived in shit Oregon for so long. I lived in shit Portland. Like it took me living in the constant rain to realize of how much I love the sun. It took me to have a shore, a rocky, uninviting shore that's like, look, the Goonies rock, to make me realize how much I love my coast that is like warm and inviting. It's like, come surfing me, friend. I'm like, oh, don't mind if I do. Where in Oregon, it's like, stay out or you will die too.
Yeah. Same
It's
with
So
cold as
me.
fuck. Like the ocean is cold.
yeah,
You
because
never
they're
really
pretty
want to go in it.
similar.
And yeah.
And so it's like even the rain right now, I appreciate it so much because of all the sunny days. And I'm so grateful that right now in this outfit, if I was caught in that rain for whatever reason, if this roof ripped off, it's warm and it's comfortable and it's
Yeah.
like inviting. And it's like I could just look up in it and let it hit me everywhere and it's not going to give me the shivers. And it's like my mango tree is just getting juicy and fat. Like my mangoes are gonna just, I mean, literally be dripping juice out of them.
Yep.
And so it's just like there's something that I'm happy. Like where when almost sometimes if you always have to jump out of planes, the rain is never gonna make you happy.
Hmm.
That's true.
Like sometimes it takes the like, you know,
The
the
fun.
simple
Yeah.
stuff is like awesome. The rain and the stars and the moon and like a wooden picnic table with like the people you care about around it. That's like who cares about the other stuff sometimes.
Weird. So weird. I'm reading too much Stoics. It puts you in a space sometimes. Stoicism is like hardcore shit sometimes. Like really puts you in your head to like really determine what am I like worrying about? Why am I putting this stress on myself? Like it really makes you evaluate your mind a little bit. Like why am I like so stressed out? Why am I so worried? I shouldn't be worried. My life is great, you know? But
I watched The Whale and I can't, it's haunting me a little bit where I just think about it occasionally and I
You
know I
keep
keep
talking
bringing it
about it.
up. I
Yeah.
know because I think everyone should watch it. It's so weird. It's so weird
Dang.
on so many different aspects. It's like a
I
I
don't
don't
want
know.
to watch it, but you're
It's like
making
only
me
if you're into
feel like I have to.
like it's not a psychological thriller. It's like a psychological study. And then it's like so many ways that I don't know, but I've just been thinking about it. But it also, I am not my favorite body of my life. But watching a movie like that makes me really appreciate my body. And you see how like quickly a year, like, oh, what's losing a little muscle in your legs? Oh, what's an extra brownie here? But you also see that like in a way out of every addiction that we all have, food is an addiction that you still need every day. So it's like you break off heroin, you break off alcohol, you break off whatever your thing, sex, you can avoid those things, but food, you still have to have an amount of food like to be healthy. So then it just really is your relationship with
And a
food.
certain amount of masturbation too.
Yeah, well,
To
it's
keep
funny you say
healthy.
that because the whale opens with him jerking off and almost having a heart attack.
Oh my goodness. What a fucking opening.
That's the opening scene.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow, imagine like, masturbating and all of a sudden you catch a heart attack. Oh, doctors ask you what caused your heart attack. Oh, I was just, beating my knee and all of a sudden my heart couldn't take it. Wow.
To gay porn.
Mind blowing.
That's what the opening scene is. And you're like, well, this is a story. How's this? Oh, and like opening scene, jerking off to gay porn. He's dying of a heart attack. Some like kid opens the front door and's like, "Do you want me to call 911?" And he's like, "No," and hands him papers and like, "Just read this to me." And so then he reads this kid's essay on Moby Dick to him, and then it calms him down. And he's like, "Oh," and the kid's like, "Why did you want me to read that?" And he's like, "Because I thought I was gonna die and I wanted to hear it one more time." This is the opening scene.
Okay, it's
Weird.
like morbid obesity. I freaking
Yeah.
when I lived in San Diego, I lived in this tiny apartment complex on the beach, and this freaking one guy in one of the units, because there's only like 10 units, he freaking nailed me when I was coming out of my apartment one day and asked me. He was morbidly obese. I'd never seen him come out, and he like was sitting out in the sun waiting for me to come out, and then like conned me into like grocery shopping for him. But then he would like find all these freaking like the flyers for every grocery store and circle the items that he wanted. He wanted me to go to like 4 grocery stores for him. It was insane to me. I was like, and everything was so heavy. Like the cart, I was like barely able to push it with all the shit that he was like having me buy for him. And then I was feeling guilty the whole time because I'm like, dude, I'm just killing this man. And then I'd have to haul them all into his apartment, which smelled so bad because I know there's no way he was showering or anything like that. There's no way he could fit into the shower. And then he was like, he told me like San Diego is all built on an ant pile, right? Every place has like ants really bad. And he would sit there and spray Raid all over himself while he sat on the couch and freaking
Raid?
Raid. He would use Raid and spray it on himself in his apartment because he'd be sitting there in his own filth more than likely. And like, I mean, if you could smell this, I was sitting there like gagging, taking groceries in. I'd have to go like get my husband be like, you have to take those in. I cannot freaking do it. I cannot smell that place. And yeah, he would spray Raid on himself because the ants would be crawling all over him.
I love Lillian said he would have lost weight just fucking getting his
I
own
know
groceries.
he would have. But I mean, like that just the smell of freaking people like that it's next level,
Do
man.
you think it's because of the BBL?
The
I think
BBL
it's like
stench.
having to clean in all the folds, you know what I mean? Because like even a baby, like a fat baby with the big old rolls and stuff, what you don't, or even their necks, you have to clean their necks because they're never lifting their neck. They'll get like
Mhm.
milk right there. It's so gross. Like, so that's like I
The
think that's what it
crevices.
is all their folds.
Yeah, ew. Sweat and like dead skin cells and like nastiness of whatever. Ugh.
Agree. I love smelly good people. Like, and this is what else I'll say. It's not like just the scent of you being, if you eat clean and like live your life in a relatively clean way, you have your own scent as a human being. Like all the products you wear and everything too, you have your own scent as a human being. I, it doesn't matter if you yogaed or sweat or gymmed or been at work all day. That's not stinky. There's just certain people that carry a stink or they don't
Stink.
care. And it's like, I can't.
It's like sour and like, oof, like you smell it from across the room. It's like, what the fuck, bro? Oof.
I don't even like the
Nasty.
smell of like Lysol or Febreze, but if I smell a stinky human, I will spray it up.
Yeah, fabuloso the bitch.
Yeah, fabuloso. That's what I clean. Fabuloso. That's how you know it's fucking Mexican clean.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You gotta fabuloso that shit.
Mhm.
And I am not like I'm not a fat shamer. I just feel like somewhere
I
in
am.
society with like Lizzo and shit and like I morbidly obese is a whole different fucking thing. And like if you're feeling chubby about yourself, I hate the people that call themselves fat that I'm like, "What? Stop
I
with
was
that
skinny
word."
shamed, so I'm gonna fat shame because it's way better to be thin than obese.
Yes, but I also think let's all stop pretending because it's
Yeah.
like when we stop pretend, it's like if somebody was sitting there with a heroin needle in their arm. So at some point, you don't want your friend to be the whale, or you don't want your loved one to be the whale. So, but also people that are just like a couple 10 pounds overweight. That'll be so many of your friends too, where they'll be like, Chaney, am I allowed to have this or am I the whale? My friends are gonna be such jerks about the whale conversation.
Being overweight is not the same thing.
Yeah. Like being chunky is whatever, you're chunky, but being fat like a ball? Come on, man. Come on. Like that? Mm-mm. Body shame right there.
You
Like in
should go
Albania, they will tell you, "Oh, hey, fatso, how you doing?" Like they'll just call you a fatso. Like they'll call you a ball. They'll call you an object to that you represent or
But
look
if we were
like.
in a tribe, that would not be healthy for us as a tribe. Like you would eat 4 times the amount of your stuff. You wouldn't be able to run. You wouldn't be able to
Mm-mm.
help us defend off the tiger. You wouldn't be
Mm-mm.
able to take care of the kids. You wouldn't like you literally would not be helpful to us as a community in the
Yeah,
most barest of essentials.
the only
And
time you would be useful is if a plane crashes and you're on that plane and we needed to eat something to stay alive for a long period of time. That's the only time you would come in handy.
well, it makes me so irritated that somebody like conned Abby to go to the grocery. Like some nice
I was
woman.
so
She has
nice when I was, like,
kids
in my
and
early 20s,
you're
yeah.
still so nice. And some
Yeah.
lady, she has kids, she has her own life, she's stressed. She has no time to push around 2 shopping carts. She's little. Abby has all these muscles, but she's a little lady pushing around some big ass man's shopping cart, carrying up his fucking groceries back to the car, up the flight of stairs, back to the car for some pig. It just is like
And he didn't
that.
pay
How
me
could
or
you
anything either. It was, like,
no, but it's just like,
kindness of
how
your
could
heart
you think
shit.
for society that you're like, and then that person's like, I don't know. I think I'm depressed. You think you just conned a nice lady to go grocery shopping for you. You should be fucking depressed. You should sit and be sad about that.
Yeah. And like like how they're trying to make it like acceptable. It's not body shaming. Shut the fuck up.
I'm gonna tell you
Like,
for real too. Sometimes I don't shop all the time at any stores, box stores, department stores, nothing. Sometimes I just am like, hey, I get objects here and there. I'll be like, I like that flower hat, need a pack of wife beaters, like weird objects. I swear to you, I should, in my opinion, I should be like a little bigger than average woman. I should be able to find clothes in Target. I feel like I'm too small for Target. And I'm like, this isn't the world we're supposed to live in. Like, we're not supposed to live in the world where I can't find clothes at Target. I should be like the borderline, like, not right now. That would be crazy. But maybe like 20 more pounds from now, I should be in the plus size. But I can't even
They've
find clothes.
changed sizes, though, like, I noticed this at some bougie store in the mall, like, we walk in and I'm trying on extra small because this is after my show, right? Well, actually, I tried on small. Small was huge. So I tried on extra small. Freaking huge. I had to get 2XS. I was like, they didn't used to have 2 extra small. And small is
Yeah.
fine, and it's almost every
Oh
brand,
my gosh,
but
this is
it's happening
triggering.
everywhere.
It's like when they tell you, "Oh, well, Marilyn Monroe wore a size 7." Well, what they don't tell you is a size 7 back then was a size 0 now. It's like,
Yeah.
this is the shit that's making me crazy. It's like how, yeah, well, you could, it's like when you go to a fast food place and they are like, "Well, we don't have a small. We have a medium, a large, and an extra large drink." Well, you know what I meant when I said small, didn't you, you little motherfucker? I
The
The
didn't mean the
smallest
smallest
one you
one.
have.
XXL.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I feel the opposite's happening with clothes. You
It is.
just, like, I'm not
They're
feeling
calling it something
skinnier.
different. So
Yeah,
extra
and
small, 2XS is now probably really what a small is, and it's just like,
What's
I'm
causing
not extra
obesity,
small.
really? Like the
well,
foods that you
think
eat
of this.
here versus Europe, same foods you could be eating, but you won't gain weight over there, but you'll gain weight over here.
But
It's
Well,
just
also, they don't
true,
strange.
serve,
but
like, gigantic sodas everywhere, they don't
also
have
they
super big
walk
gulps.
places.
Yeah.
Like
That's true.
here, like even like there isn't any kids anymore. The reason that I keep saying this, like professional sports aren't going down because everyone's like you and me and us, and then we've realized it's CIA and it's all corrupt. Professional sports are going down because nobody's playing those sports in school to even understand how they work as adults. So they're all already growing up like every bit. One of the things I feel really blessed about, I was an athlete my whole life. So anytime I tell my body, "Hey body, we get in shape and we lose weight now," my body's like, "Okay, this is what we do." These kids nowadays have never even done physical activity, so they have no idea as adults how to tell their body to get in shape. So
Yeah.
they're all just like video game players begot video game players begot. This is the generation of kids that this is video game players had kids. So
Yeah.
instead of watching football or basketball or anywhere that there might be sweat, they're watching like esports and they're
Yeah.
playing like games that are never leaving the house.
And we had gym every day in school, and gym was like literally physical like workouts. And it went
Oh,
from every day to times a week to one time a week to like, do you want gym or do you not want gym? Oh,
You
you
had
don't
to
want
run
gym?
the
Okay.
mile. You had
Yeah.
to run the
so that
mile every year for physical fitness. It didn't matter how big you were, how small you were, how black or white you were, girl or boy.
It
You
was
had a time,
mandatory.
and that time went into your grade. And it didn't matter. Here was the time for A, here was the time for B, here was the time block for C. It didn't matter. It didn't matter anything. You had to get that. Like
Hmm.
But this is
that
the other issue, especially in children. Kids are a lot of them are eating 2 meals of school a day, or 2 meals a day at school, breakfast and lunch, and some of them even get snack, okay? But child nutrition, this is the whole fucking Obama shit, like, when
Big
she
Mike. Thanks for that,
yeah,
Big Mike.
when Big Mike did all this, like, it's changed child nutrition to the point where, yeah, like, they're supposed to have whole grains and stuff, but they've essentially taken out fat. Fat is really important for hormones. Hormones are a part of the whole, like, you I'm sorry, like, yeah, I will eat extremely low fat when I'm in a cut and I'm getting ready for a show, but you need it to keep your hormones adjusted. Your hormones are like the building block for everything. That's how your body works. It works on hormones. So they essentially have removed all fat. Um, they've added, like, I wish you guys could see this because I've worked in child nutrition for 3 years. Like, it's not ground beef, it's beef crumble, okay? So it's frozen, it comes in a box, and it's called beef crumble, which is like, why wouldn't they just call it like ground beef or whatever? Like, it's already cooked, but it's not beef. Like, the
It's dog
meatballs are not
food.
beef. The patties, the hamburger patties, they're not beef. You should see the ingredients in these things. Like
Basura.
there's so many ingredients. It's not, that beef, the ingredient is beef. There's so many fillers and shit. So these kids are eating their school lunches, their school breakfasts and stuff that are
Sawdust.
supposed to be, like, low fat, but they can't even have whole milk anymore. They have to have 1% or non-fat milk. So they're not getting the fats that their brains and everything need. They're not getting, like, and they're getting all this
Nope.
chemical.
And
It's just straight fake food.
yeah, and all the 5G towers around the schools and all the radiation and all the, the juices that they have to take in their arms and the less physical workouts. It's just like a disaster waiting to happen in the body.
Yeah. Well, and then, like here, like I was saying, all these all these families do traveling sports. There's not like little leagues where you just compete in your own town. They all
Yeah.
travel. So, and they'll travel 4 or 5 nights a week. And so they're eating fast food. So they're eating the
Yeah.
school lunches, school breakfast, and then they're eating fast food at night. And
And forget these
it's
big city schools. These big city schools, you barely have any sports teams like anymore. The type of food that they serve compared to a lot of these smaller schools in like regular towns, night and day. I went to school in New York City and I went to school in New Jersey, like a really nice district. It was like night and fucking day. I mean, the lunch, I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, I was shocked to see the type of lunch we got in New Jersey compared to New York City. And the type of schooling we got in New Jersey compared to New York City, I mean, I had home ec, we had pool, like swimming classes, we had all of it, sewing classes, cooking classes. I'm like, why the fuck don't we have this shit in New York City? And now I see it's all strategic. It's done in a way to like, bigger cities, fuck you, smaller towns, good for you.
I will say there is still like lunch ladies in Florida. Like at
Yeah.
some schools, they still have legitimate lunch ladies that are like stirring big pots and making
oh, we
stuff.
did that.
And well, I even wonder a little bit if that was the other bend on COVID of pushing packaged food because they can't have a lunch lady getting COVID in the food. And so even those kind of things where I would say
The C
also
word.
it's missing how we were talking about y'all worse than spit in your food is all the hate that goes in if you go late. The lunch lady used to provide love in the food that now these packages, who knows what kind of smell. There's no
It's
love, there's no
also because you have a
ingredients.
budget, because the school can only charge so much for school lunch, and really, they don't make money from the kids who are free. They get a little bit from the federal government, but it's not a lot. The kids who are reduced price that are 40 cents, they're basically losing money on to feed. And then the ones that pay full price, pretty much they carry the whole child nutrition program for any school. So that's why like prices of lunches always are going up. And it's because those kids are paying for all the food. So they have a very strict budget. They have like the menu for the month is planned out because they have to have red vegetable twice a week, or like orange vegetable twice a week, and green vegetables this month. It's so weird, but they have to buy specific food to fit that specific
Yeah.
criteria. So it's like it's happening federally. It's all the same shit. Like, we actually do cook, like, we'd make our own spaghetti sauces and stuff
But
like that.
trash.
Yeah, but it's like you're still a lot of the main things, the proteins are not what they are.
Oh
In
my
school in
gosh.
Asia, they eat well.
This
They eat
is
well.
for 2 reasons, everyone. I feel like they should the naturalization process to become an American citizen's fucked up. And there's some countries that get a free fast pass, and there's other countries that it's like takes forever and it doesn't make sense. And so in an ideology of this like American way, like they're always talking about like, oh well, we're worried because the Muslims are coming into these cities and they're having more kids, and American women aren't having kids anymore. The smarter they get, the more educated, even that the more university educated they get, they are
Uh-huh.
not having kids. But you know who do have kids? Hardworking, clean. We were talking about them tonight. Big up to the Mexicans. They could quicken the process of this. And a lot of the thing they're like, well, what job are they going to do when they get here? We sure could use some Mexican lunch ladies to make American kids way better food.
Oh yeah.
If
Like
they just
this.
ate like a authentic Mexican
Oh my
diet,
gosh. Yeah,
everybody would
just
be healthier.
beans, vegetables, rice,
Even cooked
whatever
in
the
lard,
meat.
like
Yeah, that's
the beans
all
cooked in
the
lard,
old
refried
real
beans,
way.
those are good for you.
Mexican Coke occasionally instead of like whatever
Yeah,
milk's coming in those thick containers.
yeah.
Like I love it. This is my idea. So everyone, and for all of the Christian people that are nervous that the Muslims are having too many kids, Mexicans will have a lot of kids and they're Christian too. And then there you can Mexican lunch ladies will save American children.
Hey,
Mexicans are having kids.
everybody
Jewish people are having kids. Muslim people are having kids. What are you Americans doing, huh? What are
watch
y'all
a
doing?
day with
Wake up.
We're
watch
dyeing
a
our
day
hair
without a
blue and
Mexican.
fighting over our pronouns.
If you've never watched A Day Without a Mexican, I highly recommend it. It's a really freaking good mockumentary. It's
I love
awesome.
Mexican people.
I do too.
I grew up with them my
Me
entire
too.
life. I love them.
I
They're
do
such
too.
hardworking people.
My kids are all little
So
Mexicans, so
nice and respectful.
You're like, I should. My kids are little
yeah.
Mexicans. Yeah, I had some Mexicans myself, so I should love
Yep.
some Mexicans. All right. Well, what else? I hope something weird this week happens. We get a weird false
Every
flag.
day on the next episode of the United States of America today.
Well,
Da,
that's
da, da,
what the
da,
other
da,
thing too. This is what I keep really pondering in my head. Everybody wants us to play by the apocalyptic playbook for some reason. Like
Fuck that.
everybody wants us to play by it.
It
Everybody
ain't
wants
happening.
us to be in the apocalyptic playbook. So if the apocalyptic playbook that they keep trying to force hand and they're like, "Oh my gosh, the plague is coming," but the plague was fake. And then like, "Oh my god, but the famine's coming." Famine's fake. And they're like, "Oh my god, but the war's fake." So it's like, what one of these in my opinion, all the horsemen of the apocalypse are holographs. They're not real horsemen at all. Like they look like horsemen. They sound like horsemen in my ears, but when I am brave enough to kind of stand outside anytime, they run right through me and I'm like, "Holy shit." And then if I listen to the news would say ghosts of horsemen are around. The second I go to figure it out and put up, I'll lose my account, but then they have to cover it after the banner. So they're like, "There's been a raid of ghosts of horsemen," but really the holographs people were just brave enough to stand outside. But I just feel like there is this like forced push of the apocalypse that I'm like, to what end? When is the end game? How long are we going to be under this? How long do we like? Because it's just like, I know as an American citizen, I used to be able to go to Europe willy nilly. Like, it just seems like it's getting tighter and tighter. I can see it in my lifetime. And so it's just like, at what point? At what point? Like, does everybody stand outside and they're like, "Huh," like the emperor has no clothes almost. It's like,
Yeah.
when is everyone gonna say it?
That
Like
bitch
we
is
all say
naked.
it. It doesn't matter. The three of us in this room could disagree. Every podcast you watch could disagree. Whatever. It doesn't matter. At what point? At what's the end game here? Like how long are we sitting?
Well, the whole situation always comes down, the world is gonna end. But I don't know if it was you or you who were like, yeah, everybody faces the world ending situation. That's when you die.
Yeah.
Everyone faces that, but it's not gonna be like the entire world is gonna suffer and oh my god, the sky is falling and
It will
I
always
don't believe
fall.
it. Yeah, will there be a world flood? I don't think so. I think floods happen in territories that happen over like some periods, and they say, "Oh, we had a flood, and we had a flood, and we all had a flood." But did y'all really have a flood? I don't know. I don't know. They just feed us stories, and I don't like to believe them anymore.
I just don't. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not scared of too many other things. I feel like the television world, I more so every single one of the psyop, I'm like, why? Why? What is the okay, everybody does this, everybody picks this side or this side. And now why? I even watch every single one of Joe Rogan's guests now. I'm like, okay, we had this guy, and now the next guy that's on is this new guy selling this new because now he's leaning heavy into Anunnaki because they want us to know this part of the story. Like this has to be heavy in there. So now everybody in the conspiracy realm is all going to be flooding with Anunnaki. Everything on X is all going to be Anunnaki. Everyone's going to talk about it like they're an expert of Anunnaki all of a sudden. And I'm like, so this is going to be the new thing that we watch for the next year is that Joe Rogan has to lean into his original audience because his audience is falling off because the reason everyone found Joe is because he questioned everything and then he stopped questioning anything. So he has to bring those guests back on and just sit quietly like a good little CIA puppet and let them spiel off. But the ones he's bringing on are the gatekeepers of the information of those things. So it's like we're only going to scratch the surface and them always lead us in the direction we need to go instead of the free thinker or the conversation that would come out if we just did it. It's like he's always going to be the cheesecloth. So I always am like, to what end? What end? Why Joe Rogan now he's leaning heavy back into conspiracy? They wanted us to know Neil deGrasse Tyson, though, was the only way to think, you guys. This is the only way you think if you're intelligent. But why now all these other things?
It's just a cause more confusion, chaos,
Yeah.
mental, like people are kind of losing their minds a little bit, like really in the social media world, like really going deep and like losing themselves. And I think this is what it is. It's just to kind of make people go a little fucking crazy, you know, with these conspiracies and these ideas. And you've never seen any of these situations actually happen, or anything near it happen, but the idea of it possibly happening, that possibility, it'll just make people lose their minds a little bit.
And do you think it like
Control.
it's ruins traction or validity to actual real things and real information if eventually there's so many crazy conspiracies out there, like everyone's a dude, everyone's a guy, everyone's a girl, everyone's a this, everyone's like eventually we get so flooded that we are like
Exhausted mentally.
yeah, we like you it's that
You
even
lose
seems
your
like
discernment.
yeah, I feel like that's where I always try to sit back and I'm like, who, what, when, where, why? Who, what, when, where, why? Those original questions. And when I usually take the time to do a post, which I haven't done in a while, just because every time you get shadow banned, it just takes the wind out of your sails for a little
Yes,
bit.
it does. Yes.
Because then it's just like me talking to Layla.
Yeah, I just got recently shadow banned about posts after Mr. Whoever Ouchie went on his trial or whatever the fuck it was. All the posts that I posted on whatever all got flagged. Like literally within a day, like one after the other. I was like, "Oh, you guys are awake now." All of a
All the
sudden, now
way
he's
back
back.
when.
Yeah, like now,
Huh.
like from a year and a half ago, like you're gonna
It's
remove
funny
my
you say
post.
that. My episode I get out, which it is years old now. It like that got taken off this channel.
Yeah.
And it's just an audio episode. It doesn't have any video on it. It's just an audio episode. It's just me ranting by myself. But it got taken off this channel. But I bet I was ranting something about what we're not allowed to talk about or will get taken down. I bet it was
Yeah.
specifically because of the Fauci Ouchie trial.
I
I didn't even
swear
think about that.
that day, I
This
started
is the
getting the
stuff that's happening in
notifications.
the news, though, that they're never going to tell us. They're going to pay attention to Trump's trial and not tell us about Fauci's. That's why this is going on. It's like,
Yeah.
it's always two birds with them. Like, we have a gag order, so Biden gets to walk around and be like, I'll totally debate Trump. I'll talk to him anywhere. I'll do this. And then
What are they seriously gonna do to Mr. Ouchie? Nothing. Shit. They're not gonna do shit, like always.
dude, I can't even believe he's on trial.
You should be
The
I
hung
didn't
only
even know he
from
the
his
only
balls.
the only way he would be on trial, the only way, like he wouldn't be on trial unless he was standing in front of a certain I'm going to move you right to this podium, you tiny little man. We're going to have a COVID response team. It's going to be led up by, hey, everyone in America that isn't a homosexual man bottom in the 80s. Let me introduce you to a name that you would never hear before, even though you guys all try to pretend you're conspiracy theorists. You know what kind of plane flew into 9/11, but none of you would have known the name Dr. Fauci unless he stood in front of a certain podium and led up a certain response team. And
Yeah.
he wouldn't have been picked for that response team.
Yeah. And
Right
honestly,
with
if he wouldn't have
Pence.
been picked, we wouldn't have known his history with HIV and all that shit because everyone did their due diligence and
Brr, brr,
was
brr,
like, who is
brr.
this Fauci guy? Like, where'd he come from? And then we all opened that can of worms and we're like, oh, this motherfucker right here is one of the reasons why many people had HIV.
And they tried to make him the world's sexiest man. They had him throwing out first pitches. They had him on every friggin' day
Fugly.
on like every one of these news networks being like, mask on, mask off, mask on, and mask off, mask on, mask off. No school, no job. No school, no job. Like,
It's like giving Kim Kardashian Man of the Year for like Fauci and Mother Teresa look alike. Man of the Year, hottest Man of the Year.
he totally is Mother Teresa's son. We're pulling that up right now.
Yeah.
That's how we're
Yes.
going to go out. Fauci.
She's Albanian, by the way, supposedly.
And this human trafficker, Mother Teresa. And we're going to put this into everybody's favorite search engine, Google. Make sure you download Google to your system.
Google is awesome. Mr. Fauci is my Lord and Savior.
I like how Reuters is like, Anthony Fauci and Mother Teresa are not related, everyone.
Sure, they're not.
Sure.
Sure, they're not.
Sure, Jan. Okay, we're gonna pull up a couple of pictures because we're gonna first look at that they're together in life. Like it isn't that they've never been seen together because human traffickers run in droves. So that's just a picture of them together. But I
She was
want
she
Dude,
was probably
the nun
raped.
on the left is not a freaking woman.
to look at. I even like this one where it's like, hold on, let me go to this page.
Isn't there one where she's sitting
Do-do-do-do.
down or something on a couch?
I like to pull up the whole screen so I can go through them. Look at how it says false across it. Look at those people. Like, look at
False, but it
that.
so looks like it.
Yeah, look at that is.
Oh, come on, bro.
And look at how this one is like. This is a male, and this is his son. Look at Dr. Fauci is the son of the largest child trafficker on this planet. See, I knew if you just have Google. Thanks, Google.
Thanks, you're the best.
That's my new T-shirt. Thanks, Google. It's all still there. This is one of the awesome things about in somewhere around 2018 to 19, there was this little bit of time we had, you guys, where it was like all the censors accidentally fell off the internet for like 3 months and we were free. Like it was like 80s kids and the internet met for the first time where it was the internet was open. You could just put anything into Google and find like you could just put frazzle drip and you could just be like, oh my gosh, like it pulled up everything. It wasn't, this isn't real with some fake leads and some, no, it was like, here's Rachel Chandler. And this is how our hashtags used to work because it didn't matter if it was Google or DuckDuckGo or anything. The hashtags were the thing that hit the search engine. So it glummed it all together in this way that if you put it in any of your bars and put something like Rachel Chandler, it would pull up every celebrity she hung with, every single, it would like have it all attached and like, so they can't get rid of all of it. That's why I like to use Google. So you guys know you just have the eyes to look. You could still find whatever the stuff we used to talk about. And then once you find the things, go over to your little handy Russian search engine and you might be able to find a little more.
What was it? Rendex or what was it? I forgot what it was called. But anyway.
Yeah. So anyways, I love hanging out with you guys tonight.
Loved it.
This will
Loved
be
it.
totally something we should just do Rumble shows sometimes just so we can talk shit because if we expand on all that's
Yeah.
the stuff we're in trouble for right now that YouTube maybe
Well, what
take
we can
a
do,
medical
Yandex, there it
misinformation
goes.
class.
What we can do is probably like start 15 minutes like in and like tell everybody, hey, we're going on Rumble so we can talk like talk
Talk
the
shit. And we can
yeah.
talk shit on X.
Yeah.
That's just the YouTube. So we could just talk for an hour and then be like, all right, you guys, we're just going to turn off the YouTubes. And then we're going to talk shit. But then we'll totally get into Grid and Fauci.
And all of that.
AIDS. And that
And all of
how,
that.
if you know a gay man in his 60s, you know that he is a stud top. That's what I know about myself. If I was a gay man, I wouldn't have died because I'm a stud top. There's not very many stud tops in the gay community, but there are some, and that's why there's very few old gay men. But if you ever get the chance to talk to one of those gay guys, I can't even imagine this. I always really think about this. Can you imagine every single one of your friends dying? Every single one of
Well, I don't
your
have that many.
closest
So
friends. Well, the thing with the gay men community, especially at the time, is they didn't have their families anymore. So a lot of them lived in bigger cities and they found each other in places. So their families had excommunicated them, and so there was like their group of friends, and their whole entire group of friends died. And that one gay man, because he's surrounded by all these gays now and he's safe, but everyone his age is dead, and was the one stone top. He wants to tell everyone, fuck Fauci, but he's the one gay guy and he doesn't have anyone to tell it to. So he just has to sit quietly at the top of the penthouse in Fort Lauderdale and watch the Pride Parade go on under his feet. but it's I just can't even fathom it's equivalent, and a lot of those men are veteran too. So then they have it both because it's equivalent. They say it's equivalent to that foxhole, except it's a long foxhole. It's not that moment of, oh my gosh, some of your friends just died in like this hour firefight. Like it's like, oh, I just watched 20 of my friends die in like, however many years. So I don't know. And slow, painful deaths. And the nurses didn't even want to take care of them because the media said, you're going to catch that just by breathing on them. So they just had to sit alone in rooms and die.
Annoying.
Anyways.
Well, guys.
That's gay history. That's some gay history month. Fuck Fauci. The gays should actually be screaming at the loudest, man.
Yeah,
I'm
they
like,
should.
They were genocided. Gay men were genocided by Dr.
And they
Fauci.
are still being genocided with all the transitioning and all the
monkeypox.
Crazy.
You don't even know. The young gay men, they're
Sad.
being there, and they're
Yeah.
like, hey, why don't you go take this new drug, and you can have, as long as you don't have symptoms of HIV, but your boyfriend has HIV, you guys can still have sex, and you can just take this drug, and you can have. And I'm like, oh, how's this gonna go wrong?
Yeah, I know.
Ridiculous. That's probably the first mRNA strand that they ever created and tested on humans, because that's what they extract the mRNA from, is from the actual HIV virus. They take the HIV protein and added it to the new jibbity jab. The protein actually comes from the AIDS virus or HIV virus, and that's what the technology comes from, which helps replicate itself into whatever it is. It's almost like the HIV virus, pretty much.
Oh my gosh. You just figured out this big, huge mystery that's been happening in my brain. Because I'm like, we went through the phase, the ironic mustache phase. And I see the phase we're in right now where the mustache is becoming predominant. We're getting the perms again. And it's a very specific after disco phase. It's a very early 80s phase. What does it remind me of? Oh, shit. We're about to go through the AIDS reckoning again, and they're going to blame it on a sexually transmitted disease again, but it's not going to be the sexually transmitted disease at all.
Nope.
It's all going to be from the jibby jab that we're not allowed to talk about, or we're going to lose our channel. They're like setting us up for the trend again.
That's why I say stay celibate, or if you know that person is not sleeping around and you trust that person, they're open-minded like you on these topics, go ahead. But otherwise, don't do it. Y'all, it ain't a game. I'm dead ass. I will not. It's frustrating because I want to.
I am so, this is what I will say that I have gratitude for, is I could, because I would have no interest in even in my lesbian, I don't want to lick your vaccinated box. That's going to be on my next hat.
Or suck your vaccinated penis.
My
and then
gosh,
you expect
I'd
me
rather
to
you
swallow?
spit in my mouth.
Shut the fuck up. Get out of my face. Now let me stop.
This is a perfect way to end. We had to go off the rails a little. We had
just
to
a little bit.
Make Abby. You guys don't even know Abby's potty mouth when we get off air.
Yeah.
She's the sailor.
I'm an angel. I have little horns to hold up my halo.
Like Moses.
Yeah. Oh, we're not gonna have a Moses conversation tonight.
Oh gosh.
All right. We love you guys so much.
Love you guys.
Thank you guys for
Thanks
hanging
for
out with us and finding us, even though.
And I'm getting back to normal, guys. I'm getting back to normal.
Good.
Because I wasn't normal for a while.
Good.
Yeah.
I like it. Healthy you.
Yeah.
Health is part of the happiness. It
Absolutely.
makes the flow better. It makes the magic stronger.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
You guys are awesome. You guys have a fantastic fucking week, and don't let the false flags get you down. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Britney Spears, can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe? Here comes
good guys. Good guys, good guys. Good guys. Witches, weirdos, mega mistakes, entertaining, calming linguists. Good guys. Forum of decorum needs a secretive society to advance on philosophies intentionally, magically. Good guys, good guys, good guys, good guys. Witches, weirdos, mischief making. It's okay to change your thinking. Good guys. Good guys, good guys.
Bunnies. Hi. Okay, of course she's starving for the most attention because she's the youngest. Give me attention, please. Now, Sarah, you're very stuck up. And you're too cool for school, I get it. Jesus Christ, be nice. Girls, be nice. No fighting.
Mommy, I got my pasty. Please, and run to me and let me see. Oh, she's a bunny, y'all. She's a bunny this morning. Come here, bunny girl.